concerned that anybody just from the outside can walk in and get the kids.
I always told my daughter to stay away and just don't talk to any strangers, just wait for me until I get here.
The man left before police arrived. He's described as being about 180 centimetres tall, bald, and was wearing a light blue shirt, black pants and a face mask. He was also carrying a beanie. Anyone with information is urged to contact police. $160 million will be spent connecting Australia's largest wind farm precinct to the national electricity market. The Albanese government has inked a deal with Queensland, which will result in more renewable energy going into the grid. It'll help power 700,000 homes and create hundreds of local jobs. The Royal Australian Air Force has been able to take part in an international deployment for the first time in years. Australian aircraft and personnel have travelled to New Zealand this week to take part in a combined training exercise. Squadron leader Ian DiCarlo says it's the first time the PC-21 aircraft is being deployed internationally, as they've only been in use for 3 years.
It is a fairly deliberate process to deploy a long range over water. And then when COVID came along and we couldn't really travel that much, we focused on conducting our training within Australia in New South Wales.
China has halted its military drills surrounding Taiwan. Beijing's military says sea and air operations were successful, but has vowed to keep patrolling the Taiwan Strait. The operation began last week following a visit from the US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Almost 1 million children in London will be offered a booster shot amid fears of a possible polio outbreak. Brett McLeod has the story.
Health officials say polio has been detected in wastewater samples taken from 8 different sites around London over the last 6 months. As a result, 900,000 children will be offered the vaccine in the coming weeks. It's almost 20 years since all of Europe was declared polio-free, and no cases of the virus have been reported in the UK, but authorities fear it may be spreading. It's believed the current outbreak may have come from a visitor from a country still using the oral vaccine, which, while safe, uses live virus, unlike more commonly used injectable vaccines.
The tributes are continuing for Olivia Newton-John, who died earlier this week at the age of 73. The sails of the Sydney Opera House glowed pink last night in honour of her work for breast cancer. Church bells in the Netherlands chimed the tune of Hopelessly Devoted to You to remember the Grease actress. Now to 5AA Sport.
10-year warranty and 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
And it's good morning to Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Mel. Adelaide has re-signed defender Mitch Hinge to a 2-year deal. The 24-year-old telling Rowie and Timmy G, although it took a while, he was confident it would get done.
I think behind the scenes I was pretty confident, and me and my manager were very confident that things are going to get done. So I'm very happy to be here now.
The Crows will name their side to take on North Melbourne tonight. The Roos set to bring in Ben Cunnington after he spent the year on the sidelines in his recovery from testicular cancer. Port Adelaide will name only a squad with their match against Essendon not being played until Sunday. And Carlton will head to the AFL Appeals Board tonight in the hope of overturning a 2-game suspension handed to captain Patrick Cripps. Well, Australian Nick Kyrgios has just levelled his match against number 1 seed Daniil Medvedev at a set apiece at the Toronto Open. Alex de Minaur is also at a set apiece against Grigor Dimitrov. Earlier, Ajla Tomljanovic went down in straight sets to number 1 seed Iga Swiatek. Australia's women's cricket captain Meg Lanning is taking a break from the game for personal reasons with no timeline for a return. And Real Madrid leads Eintracht Frankfurt 2-0 during the second half of this morning's UEFA Super Cup clash. There's now about 15 minutes to play in that match. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
3 out of 4 people never hear back from interviews. Shouldn't people matter more than that? Zoom Recruitment.
Showers increasing today, heading for a top of 16. Showers tomorrow 15. And the rain will continue on Saturday and Sunday. Right now it's 9 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Credit Union SA Bonus Savings Account. Open your account and you could be rewarded with bonus monthly interest. Consider the T's and C's.
6 after 6, good morning to you. Welcome to Thursday on 5AA Breakfast, the 11th of August. Had a bit of rain in the last 24 hours and there's more to come. We'll talk you through that with the Bureau very shortly. Also, the extraordinary scenes on a Californian highway where a plane landed and then it burst into flame. We'll talk about it and play you some of the extraordinary perspectives on that story after 6:30 today. Matt Abraham will join us. We'll dissect the spin of the week. You might hear some of the classic hits of Donald Trump's thoughts on the Fifth Amendment. He pled the Fifth overnight after saying basically everyone who did it is admitting guilt previously. And Tom Duday, of course, from the Adelaide Football Club after 8 o'clock as well. Oh, and in and around that, and after 8:30, a really heartwarming story that we hope now, by virtue of the intervention of the state government and the federal government, will have a happy ending. We had Mark Green, David, on the program a couple of weeks back, saying that he and his family from Scotland call Australia home, call Adelaide home, and it seemed it was just a bureaucratic stuff-up that meant that they were going to be deported back to Scotland, but it sounds like a call from Peter Malinauskas changed things.
Yeah, and good on Mally for doing it. He picked up the phone to the new Immigration Minister, Andrew Giles, and basically just tried to get it onto his radar. And we had the Greens on, I reckon it was about 2 months ago. Mm. In fact, I know it was June 23 when I wrote a story for The Australian about the family. And they're just like totally down-to-earth people. They've been living down Seacombe Way, Seacombe Gardens, I think. And their daughter, she was only a little girl when she came out here. I think she was 9. They've been in South Australia for 10 years. She went to the local public school down there, and they paid full tote odds to send her to school because they're not citizens. I think the annual fee was $8,000.
Wow.
It's getting all like Catholic school fees.
Yeah.
Well, probably beyond all
no,
Catholic
more
schools.
than Catholic school fees.
Yeah. $8,000 to send her to school. They've never got a single cent from Centrelink. The very reason the Greens came to Australia too was that the solar panel industry doesn't have enough electricians. Mm. So he's a Sparky from Scotland. And the thing is, when I spoke to him, like, he was just saying like how much he hated Scotland and how much he loves Australia. And he goes, I won't try to do the accent. Why is it every time you're talking about Scottish people, you feel like you're required to do the accent?
Because it's such a huge part of their identity, I guess.
It is, isn't it? But he was saying Scotland's a dump. Like, we are, for all intents and purposes, we're Australian. Yeah. He said, the town that I'm from, he said, it's got terrible problems with poverty, drugs, violence. I don't want my daughter to have to go there when Australia's now a home. And so, like, you think in the middle of a school shortage, it should be a no-brainer. The politics of it are interesting, though, because the Sri Lankan family that the minister made a special case for last week, the what are they called again? Bit of a mouthful. The Biloela family. The Biloela family.
Yeah.
But they got the sort of special ministerial intervention. So if it's good enough for them...
Took them about 10 years, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there just needs to be a level of discretion when people are clearly contributing, net contributors to their environment. If you've come here and you've made a good earnest living and you pay your taxes and you pay your way and you're a good, productive member of your community, I think you should be treated a bit differently.
Well, I think the most telling part of the story is that Mark's current employer is sponsoring his application to stay.
There you go.
And the only reason he's facing the chop, he's facing deportation, was that one of his former employers, who's now gone out of business, sounds like they were shonks, they'd said to him that they were sponsoring him, but they'd never put in the paperwork to get him off a bridging visa and onto a proper permanent resident type thing. And as a result of that, his work visa lapsed. So last night was just the law kicking in where they were saying, well, that's it, you've got to leave. Mm. So he was misled by an incompetent former employer.
Yeah, that's just, it shouldn't be the way. It shouldn't be the way it falls. So hopefully now sanity will prevail in that case. We have a $100 Samtas Seafoods voucher to give away. Every caller to the program between now and 7:30 is in the running to win this. So
that gets you a lot of fish at Samtas.
$100 worth of Samtas seafood. $100. 82230000 is the number. Any topic you like. There's lots to talk about this morning. Mick's texted us on the Automasters text line, says, "Morning, lads. I think we all agree Trumpy is a stubby short of a six-pack. But what Nancy Pelosi has just unleashed on the world has to be really questioned. Selfish or plain stupid?"
I don't know. Do we?
Well, do we just sort of say, yeah, well, China gets everything they want, we should call it Taipei, and we should not acknowledge that there's a democratic country of millions of people that want to be... look, there would have been an easier option not to go there. There wouldn't have been the brouhaha that's existing at the moment. But we've got to stand for something, don't we?
You know who went there only a few days before Nancy Pelosi without causing an international incident? Christopher Pyne.
Did he? Well, I guess he's not a member of the government anymore.
No, but he was over there. Landed at the old Chiang Kai-shek airport, then went about his business.
It's so funny, the Pelosi story, because she's so poisonous to Republicans and people on the right, but generally they are defending her right to have gone there. And it's Democrats saying, hey, Nance, cheers, this is great.
I think it's all on China, though. Like, their behaviour is so utterly juvenile. Like, what about that ambassador yesterday in Canberra?
Use your imagination, he said, when talking about what we might do. There was a bit, we'll play a bit for everyone after 7 o'clock. There was a bit where he says, well, once we're reunified, China and Taiwan, we might have to correct some of the attitudes in Taiwan towards China. Like, it's this sort of dystopian language that you just don't think exists, but it's just said openly. There's going to be re-education.
Well, this is a great misnomer, the term misnomer meaning improperly named. The word reunification, to talk about what Beijing's got in mind for Taiwan as a reunification is a nonsense anyway, because it's never been part of communist China. It's not like communist China had it and lost it. What happened was after the Chinese Civil War, the Chinese nationalists, the Kuomintang, when they were defeated by Mao Zedong, i.e. the commies, they said, well, we'll just stay here on Taiwan, on Taipei, as it was then known. So the idea of it being reunified is crap, because they never had control of it.
And if it's a reunification, that tends to suggest there's a bit of a clamour from at least both sides for it to be reunified. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of movement from within Taiwan to reunify with China.
Hey, Tom, I've got to apologise, mate. I've got an all-caps message here on the Automasters text line from Tom, who says, Scotland is not a dump. I wasn't saying it, Mark was saying it about the town that he's from. We'll ask him again after 8:30. He doesn't sound like he's living in a dress circle part of what is otherwise a particularly beautiful country.
And it might be a flourish of phrase to explain to us the degree to which he wants to live here, enjoys living here, and values it, and considers himself an Australian as well. It's an evocative turn of phrase that demonstrates that. Hey, I'm late to this party, but I've got to recommend it to absolutely everybody because I think it came out a year ago. Last night, watched the documentary, I think it was on Disney, of the Thai cave rescue. I'd never watched the whole thing before. It is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, right.
The access, the fact they filmed everything. There's candid moments where people go,
Doco, not
Doco. This is
movie.
not the movie. This is the documentary of the moment they're all standing around the English divers and Richard Harris, the Australian anaesthetist and diver, and they're hatching the plan going, these kids are going to die. And someone's standing there recording it. And at one point, someone goes, are you seriously recording? And the camera turns off. Like, there are moments of candour like that that are unbelievable. And shots inside the cave. And I thought I knew that story. But watching that last night gives you a whole nother perspective of the size of this thing. They had to travel underwater to get to the end where the kids were for 2.5 to 3 hours. It was kilometres away. And there's elements of the story where they pop up in places and think, oh, we found them. Oh, no, we found one of the first rescue teams that got stuck. And we're going to rescue them and bring them back. And the degree to which you had the Thai Navy SEALs totally emasculated in the process because they couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And they had these middle-aged old blokes from England who were the only ones who seemed to have the requisite skills. And then they were the ones convincing Richard Harris here in Australia that, you know what, we've got to knock these kids out, we've got to sedate them. And he was saying, that's a death sentence. Like the insight in the moment.
They wrapped them up like mummies too, didn't they? And floated them out.
Richard Harris it's remarkable. He comes in at the end because the Promi guys have managed to get through to the kids, and they go, well, there's no way we'll get them out. We tried to get out these other divers who had to be underwater for 30 seconds, and they all panicked and nearly died. He said, these kids have to be underwater for an hour, 2.5 hours. It's just not going to be possible without being a trained cave diver with years of experience. One of the Navy SEALs died trying to do it. So that's why they come up with a sedation plan. And Richard Harris has just said, no way, you got to be kidding me. And to see him administering the shots in the end of the cave to the kids as they're taking them out, and his voiceover saying, I thought I was sending every one of these kids to their death.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then he said the feeling of tying someone's hands behind their back, sedating them, and pushing their head underwater makes him sick. Everyone should watch it. It is unbelievable.
When their book came out, I went down to the Intercontinental and interviewed the pair of them. And I love the story. His mate, whose name now eludes me.
Challen.
Yeah,
the other Australian guy.
Yeah. Mark? Is it Mark?
Craig, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's Craig. Anyway, he told this great story about how some unctuous vicar turned up out of nowhere, standing around at the site just before they went in and did it all. And he came over to him and he looked at him and he said, "And Craig, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today?" And he said, I just looked at him and said, "Today I feel like a person of science." Yeah. It's like, we don't need any help from the Almighty here. We've come up with a plan, and we're going to have a red hot Aussie go at this, and hopefully it works. But spare me the hand-holding, Father.
I encourage everyone to watch it. It's well worth it. It's a pretty snippy documentary. It won't take you all night, but it is absolutely mind-blowing, even if you think you know the ins and outs of the story. We're going to take a break. News headlines are next.
For over 38 years, Steinborner has been well worth the trip. With over 400 used cars to choose from, you're sure to find the car you're looking for. You won't find a better range of cars covering the entire region from Gawler to the Barossa Valley and Clare. And don't forget, you can always click through the collection of vehicles online at steinborner.com.au. Great local deals on great local cars from your locals. Steinborner Automotive. Still well worth the trip or well worth the click.
Harvey Norman, your Samsung mobile phone destination. For 5 days only. Pre-order the new Samsung Galaxy Z series and receive a bonus Harvey Norman gift card. Pre-order the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 and receive a bonus $300 gift card. Or the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 and get a bonus $400 gift card. Plus receive a bonus storage upgrade. Pre-order today and get a bonus gift card. Hurry, offers end Monday. Online and in store at Harvey Norman now.
G'day, it's Mark Bickley. For most business PC brands, a 4-hour service guarantee means they'll call you back in 4 hours. But at Leader Computers, a 4-hour service guarantee on Leader's business range means they'll come to your worksite and have you back in business inside 4 hours. Leader Computers are local, made here in Adelaide with better service, better support and speedy turnaround times. Live life local. Live life Leader. Leader Computers. Find your local dealer at leadersystems.com.au.
Visit the Simmons Charity Home this Saturday at Rhine Road in Lightsview. Simmons Homes, the great Australian builder, has proudly donated this family home, which will be auctioned off by Choop and Choop at midday on Saturday, 27th of August. Experience the contemporary 5-bedroom, 2-storey home styled by Bow Concept. Proceeds from the sale will support children's projects at Flinders Medical Centre. This house could be yours. Visit 15 Rhine Road, Lightsview on Saturday. Take a look at flindersfoundation.org.au for inspection times or to learn more.
Feeling the burn? Save cash with Cheapest Chips Hot Buys. Lynx or Rexona spray deodorants sizzling 2 for $7. True Blue 2-litre assorted soft drinks any 2 for $4. Schmacko's beef straps big 800-gram bag scorching $13.49. And direct from the UK chocolate multi-pack range blazing 2 for $6. Check out this week's catalogue for more hot buys in-store and online. Save cash and live cheaper with Cheapest Chips Hot Buys now.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Whatever you're saving for, get there quicker. With a Credit Union SA bonus savings account. Please consider the T's and C's.
20 after 6, Tommy Wren's got a really heartwarming story from the world of junior sport. He'll take us through it shortly. Let's get to the headlines. The hunt is continuing for a man after an attempted abduction at Glenelg Primary School. This is sickening, this story.
Unbelievable.
The man allegedly grabbed a young girl on the arm at around 10 Tuesday morning. The man, described as being 180 centimetres tall, bald, was wearing a light blue shirt, black pants, a face mask, and was carrying a beanie. Anyone who may have information or dash cam footage from near the school is urged to contact police.
Those parents would all feel sick. This happened at my kid's school years ago. And when it happened, I felt like I was going to spew and had end up going down to Port Adelaide CIB to talk about it.
God.
Report it. Some random guy, hey, I'm here, Mum. Your mum told me to pick you up in a van. They should lock these bastards up forever, I reckon. Forget all the stories about, the weird thing is, and the cops were totally candid about this when it happened, they said, look, there's not actually really anything we can do. It appears,
how ridiculous.
It appears that telling a kid that your mum said, I'm here to pick you up, isn't technically a legal issue.
The intent's pretty clear, isn't it? I'm with you.
Well, prove what? What are you guilty of? Well, I was just saying something.
I'm happy for the law to err on the side of they weren't taking him out for lunch.
100%. But this is worse. This is actually physically entering the school.
Yeah, you're right. This person should never be seen again.
Yeah, you just lock them up.
Yeah.
Lock them up.
What benefit to society is there?
None. And who cares what their backstory is?
Yep.
Bad luck. Like, the greater good is keeping kids safe.
A war of words has erupted over the Liberal leader's decision not to attend an upcoming Jobs and Skills Summit. Peter Dutton has declined an invitation to the two-day event, which will gather about 100 businesses, union and community groups. He's described the summit as a talk fest for the unions, but Treasurer Jim Chalmers says that's not true.
Once again, Peter Dutton is isolated. He is a destructive figure in a country that wants to collaborate and seek consensus. And so we are representing those efforts. We are guiding and leading those efforts to work together at the same time as he's trying to wreck it.
I think these sorts of summits are a bunch of hot air at the best of times, but having a job summit at the time when we don't have enough people for all the jobs that are out there is high farce. I'm with Peter Dutton on this one.
Who's going to... I wonder, is the construction union going to go?
Probably.
Because if they do go, I think, like, inspired by John Blake, they need to do their new hit single, Union Power.
Get a chant up.
Yeah, get it going. Maybe that can be the opening song. I'm not actually totally against the idea of a job summit. I mean, we're not going to... The economy's not going to stay the same way it is forever.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of first-term posturing that goes on. The gold standard for this kind of get your hand off at Darryl sort of nonsense is Kevin Rudd's 2020 summit.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that poisoned me on all summits, I suspect.
Yeah. What about when they were sitting around and Rudd was sitting cross-legged on the floor and was singing along to Paul Kelly's From Little Things, Big Things Grow? I felt like emigrating.
Makes your skin crawl.
It does, doesn't it?
Wait times at airports across the country could soon get much worse. From Sunday week, Qantas will add an extra 30 minutes to waiting times between domestic and international connecting flights. It's the first in a series of steps aimed at fixing the airline's ongoing luggage crisis, with the mishandled baggage rate now at 9 in every 1,000 passengers. The weather today, we're expecting a top of 16 with up to 10 mils of rain right now outside in Adelaide. It's about 9 degrees. Tom Wren's in the 5AA Breakfast studio with us. Thanks to the new Mitsubishi Triton. It's got 10-year warranty, 10-year cap price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth. Morning, Rennie.
Morning to you, Will, David. Fellas, to quote the great Jerry Maguire, we do live in a cynical world, don't we? When he gives the famous speech to Renee Zellweger at the end of the movie there.
Yep.
Great movie, isn't it?
Terrific.
Yeah, fantastic.
I like
it. But every now and then you need your faith restored in humanity, don't you? You need something good to happen. And it was a Little League game. Will, I think you've seen this on Twitter. It's been going viral. It was a game between Texas East and Oklahoma. So they broadcast it. It's obviously a big game over in the US. And the pitcher accidentally, as it turned out, hit the batter in the head. Now, this can often lead to an explosive situation where...
Normally it's an all-in brawl.
An all-in brawl. They charge the plate. Players get thrown out. But it was a different take this time because the pitcher was clearly upset with his error, and the batter walked to first base, because if you get hit by a pitch, you walk to first base. And seizing the moment, he went up and he gave him a hug, and it got a standing ovation, a great reaction.
He wants him to know that it's okay, that he'll be fine. What a stud right there. Zay Jarvis. This is the best thing that I've ever seen in Little League Baseball.
What a stud right there.
How good.
That was a beautiful moment. What a great kid. You'd be so proud of him if that was your kid that went up. Because as I think you said off air, Rennie, that in major leagues, that's a punch-up.
Yeah.
If you get hit by a pitcher.
That's both teams emptying the benches.
Exactly right. What do we think about the Little League World Series being broadcast on ESPN? 10 to 12-year-olds they are, and their stats flash up on the screen. 4'8", 102 pounds.
Throws it 45 miles an hour.
45 miles an hour. It's so American.
Yeah.
I reckon there's no way we'd go for anything like that in Australia. Like, can you imagine broadcasting an Australian rules match between, what's 10 and 12, year 5 and 6s or something?
Yeah, I must admit, I even struggle watching like the state under-18s. I think, well, I don't know who any of these people are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unless you're invested yourself. Unless Jimmy was playing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. With his genetic background, there's no chance of that.
It's so young, though.
It is.
Like, one of those under-18 kids, they're literally getting drafted at the end of that year. They're going to sit in a room and there's going to be televisions. Like, that's the last step on the way to professionalism. 10 to 12?
There's a nice sort of
Who
element,
knows?
Without wanting to sound like a total handbag swinging ponce, there's a nice element to that story that questions the modern ethos of masculinity, don't you think?
Massively. I couldn't have. That was so raw, and and the
because
empathy.
that shows that there's actually a male instinct towards kindness.
Yes,
and also remorse.
That's the same. That's what I felt as well.
That must get trained out of us somewhere along the line.
Yeah, you have to be the alpha.
Yeah, totally.
You have to be the stronger.
It's good. It's like,
and I get that you do need an element of, if you're going to win, but it's nice to see that there is a human side as well.
Yeah. We should all. I think people should watch that and learn from it. If
you're looking for it, just if you Google into YouTube or just into Google Little League Baseball, you'll find it very quickly.
It's a really nice moment.
Patrick Cripps tonight, does he get off? He's going to the appeals board. I think not. Sure.
It doesn't really work that often, does it, the old appeals board? No.
What do you get, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. To me...
If I played for Carlton, I'd rather not play for the next 2 weeks. Because they're clearly not going to make the finals.
Certainly wouldn't want to play if you were playing without Patrick Cripps, I reckon.
Yeah, it's going to be tough against Melbourne. He'll be breathing fire this week.
Hey, Cam Smith's thrown his lot in with the Saudis too.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
It's all going that way, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't wait to see where the story is in 12 months.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to have to...
But the thing is, who cares if you're Cam Smith? Because you're going to get... What?
140 million.
No. The inference I'm making is I reckon in 12 months we'll all be desensitised to it and it will stop being an outrage. I think people will get over it.
And I think it's getting to the point where the PGA Tour has to sit down with Liv and they have to come to a compromise.
Yeah,
they've got to work it out. And look, the PGA, they've done a lot of things wrong as well over the years. They're not blameless in all of this either, but... when you look at
they're just a bunch of stuff shirts, really, aren't they? Like old Judge Smales and Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Coloured boy, I'll show you, coloured boy.
Good on you, Rennie.
Thanks, fellas.
10-year warranty and 10 years cap price servicing. Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
If you've been thinking about a new vehicle, start thinking about a pre-owned vehicle from North Point Toyota. When you go pre-owned with North Point, you'll enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. North Point Toyota's certified pre-owned vehicles come with a full service history, independent background check and free 12 months roadside assistance. North Point Toyota's certified pre-owned vehicles are in a class of their own. It's the North Point way. Hillcrest Prospect, Port Augusta, northpointtoyota.com.au.
Terry White Chemmart has real deals on our ibuprofen 96 tablets at just $13.99. Plus, Demazin 12-hour decongestant nasal spray 20ml 2-pack for $11.89. Get real deals every day at Terry White Chemmart. Always follow the directions for use. Ends August 23.
Foodland stores are local, independently owned supermarkets with over 90 stores across South Australia. They are indeed the mighty South Aussies.
They're passionate about providing great food and all your favourite brands, along with some of the best supermarket experiences in the world.
Foodland are passionate about providing their customers with fresh local produce and a full range of groceries with personalised service. With competitive prices, great value lives at Foodland.
So don't forget to check your letterbox every week for their catalogue filled with hundreds of great specials, or even sign up online to receive it straight to your inbox.
When fresh really counts, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Jack's Tyres and Auto do more than just look after your tyres, they also do vehicle servicing. They reckon it's their best kept secret, but it's probably not a secret anymore. You see, your local Jack store has the expertise to offer a total peace of mind driving experience, because Jack's is a brand that offers value, trust and convenience. Combining the highest quality products and services, they measure their success by your satisfaction. Visit your local Jack's Tyres and Auto store today.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Showers increasing 16 today. With the 6:30 news, I'm Mel Usher.
Turn your dreams into reality with the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. There's more big winners than ever before.
Security remains in place at Glenelg Primary School after an attempted abduction on Tuesday. A man reportedly tried to grab a young girl in a hallway around 10 a.m. in front of teachers and students. He's described as around 180 centimetres tall, bald and was wearing a light blue shirt, black pants and a face mask. The school has sent a letter to parents about the incident. Investigations are continuing. More South Australians have turned to crime in the past year. There's been a 30% increase in shoplifting, according to new police stats. Robberies and thefts are also on the rise. Social justice advocate Peter Sanderman says it's been a tough time for many.
They're doing silly things because you're going to get caught. Perhaps just swallow your pride and go and ask for help. So you can feed your family and do it legitimately.
Australia's largest wind farm precinct is being connected to the national electricity market. Lucy Gray reports from Canberra.
Many households along the east coast and South Australia have shivered through winter as gas shortages ramp up power prices. The Albanese government has signed a $160 million deal with Queensland to connect the Southern Downs Renewable Energy Zone to the electricity grid. It'll help power 700,000 homes and create hundreds of local jobs. Energy groups believe similar infrastructure projects should be rolled out across the country.
A COVID infection during pregnancy can increase the risk of a number of potentially dangerous health issues, according to new research. Gail Watson has the story.
The research out of the United States suggests infected pregnant women are at 10% higher risk of severe infection, 4% higher risk of being admitted to the ICU, and a 3% higher risk of needing ventilation. The review, published in the journals of the American College of Cardiology, found these numbers went up if the mum-to-be had other pre-existing conditions. According to the authors, a reason for the increased risk of cardiovascular complications was the low vaccination rate in pregnant women compared to other groups. They say available data supports vaccination in pregnancy.
Donald Trump has declined to answer questions while appearing under oath at the New York Attorney General's office as it probes his business practices. The BBC's Rachel Wright says it comes just days after a raid at Mar-a-Lago.
Donald Trump turned up at the office of the New York Attorney General to face questions in a totally separate investigation. Letitia James has been looking into whether the Trump Organization misled lenders and tax authorities about the value of property it owns. Earlier this month, Mr. Trump's children, Ivanka and Donald Jr., were forced to give depositions in the civil case, but the former president has refused, citing his Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate himself. He's described the investigation as a witch hunt.
Disney now has more subscribers than Netflix across all platforms. The Mouse House adding another 16 million in the last quarter. They've also announced the cheaper version of Disney Plus, which will include ads, will launch December 8. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
New Mitsubishi Triton with 10-year warranty, 10-year cap price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Some breaking news first, and Aussie Nick Kyrgios has continued his brilliant form, beating world number one Daniil Medvedev in 3 sets at the Montreal Open. Kyrgios coming from a set down to get it done.
14 wins in his last 15 matches for Nick Kyrgios.
He is a winning machine at the moment.
Yeah, he is flying. It's the second time he's beaten a world number one, and he now holds a 3-1 head-to-head record over Medvedev. Alex de Minaur is also on court right now, and he's up a set against Grigor Dimitrov. Earlier, Isla Tomljanovic lost in straight sets to number one Iga Swiatek. Well, the AFL teams are set to be released tonight for Port Adelaide and the Crows. Adelaide will name a team, while the Power only a squad, with their match coming on Sunday against Essendon. 9 News understands Gold Coast golf courses, the Grand and Sanctuary Cove, are in line to host a Live Golf Tour event. Live Golf officials are set to tour the venues in the coming days. Former tour player Wayne Persky has said that the Live Golf model is capitalising on the PGA Tour's American focus.
Where the money comes from, put that aside for a second. If they're talking about growing the game, then we need to have more events outside of America, and I think that looks very much like what they're going to do next year. They're talking about possible 3 tournaments here in Australia. We need to talk about Australia, we need to talk about New Zealand, we need to talk about South Africa, we need to talk about Japan.
A bit going on there, Mel. That is the 5AA sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
3 out of 4 people never hear back from interviews. Shouldn't people matter more than that? Zoom Recruitment.
16 today and showers increasing. Showers tomorrow 15 and the showers will continue Saturday 15. Right now it's 9 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Taking care of your hearing health is so important, and it's that much easier with Audica. If you're over 26, get a free hearing check at one of the 350 clinics throughout Australia. Ask our expert team about 2-week free trials of high-quality hearing devices. There's value for every ear, from fully government subsidised devices or up to 20% off on selected models. T's and C's apply. Conditions apply under the Australian Government Hearing Services Program. Visit audica.com.au.
You're the generation that stopped wars and started revolutions, so you're hardly going to start compromising now. Welcome to Bloom at Glenside. Exclusive community living, where sustainability and luxury go hand in hand. Access to a swimming pool, pavilion, gym and more. Surrounded by parklands and walking trails on the fringe of the city. Prestige apartments for discerning boomers. Register now at bloomglenside.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Whatever you're saving for, get there quicker with a Credit Union SA bonus savings account. Please consider the T's and C's.
23 minutes to 7. Police and weather shortly. We've had a bit of rain in the last 24 hours, or just under 24 hours, 22 and a half hours. Since 9 a.m. yesterday, 10.4 mils in the gauge at West Terrace, 9.4 at Adelaide Airport, up in the hills at Mount Lofty, 15.6 mils, Noonlunga 9.8 and Parafield 7. So that's in the last 24 hours. Potentially we could get that again in the next 24 hours, but we'll find out for sure with the Bureau in just a moment. A few texts on the Automasters text line.
Now, Will, can you help out Nathan in Seaford? He says, can you please repeat what everyone should watch? My son just spent 8 days and 7 nights hiking and camping with Dr. Richard Harris on a camp called Operation Flinders. They're great, those things, apparently. My son loved it.
It'd be amazing.
And I'd like to watch this doco with him, but I only heard you say everybody should watch it. Can you please repeat the name of the program?
It's called The Rescue. It's a National Geographic documentary.
How do you find it?
It's an excellent question. I think
You've watched it on Disney Channel.
I think I watched it on Disney, yes. But if you Google it, you might be able to find it.
Yeah, it's probably kicking around on different platforms.
Yeah, it might be somewhere else.
Like it might be available on Apple TV.
It could be, yeah. They're often available on different things, but it's called The Rescue.
Sorry to subject free-to-air TV people to this, but it's the way of the world these days. There's a lot of things that pop up like this now that you can only get them through TV apps, which is something I admit I struggle with. Our Apple TV's been down for like 3 months, and I can't work out how to turn it back on again.
Incidentally, and just on that, Mel Usher made the point on Twitter a short time ago, and be reporting at 5AA News that Disney's overtaken Netflix as the biggest subscription service.
Wow.
As well.
Amazing.
Which is quite remarkable.
Nice text quickly from John in Normanville too. He says, guys, read Rennie's story about the Little League and the pitcher being hugged by the batter. At my grandson's footy game on Sunday, Mount Torrens versus Salisbury under-16s, a player leaving the pitch injured was helped off by by an opposing team member. It was a genuine sportsmanship gesture.
Beautiful,
Nice.
John. And in fact, we've got a $100 Samtas Seafoods voucher to give away. If you want to nominate a moment of great sportsmanship, you're more than welcome to do that and to be in the running. You just have to call in on 8223 0000. Tommy Wren pointed out from the Little League World Series. Could be like that. It could be contemporary like John's grandson's footy game on the weekend. Great moment of sportsmanship. Or you could go back in time.
There's a sensation. Exclusive picture of Clark's fall, made available by courtesy of the Melbourne Sun. Randy ran on a few strides and then came back to help his fallen opponent. A truly magnificent gesture of sportsmanship. Recovering, Landy runs off the track slightly, but is soon back, chasing the leaders, to whom he's given a good 35-yard start. He's a great champion, all right, champion runner and true sportsman. He sacrificed all chance of a new record. He's risked disqualification by stepping off the track, but he's still first to the tape, and still the champion.
Might be the most famous moment of sportsmanship in Australian sporting history. John Landy stopping to go back and pick up Ron Clark, who fell over at the Australian National Championships, disqualified himself in the process, but was still so much better than the rest of the field that he actually he passed the finish line first.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's a wonderful story.
There's one I remember. It's pretty harrowing. Well, it doesn't get any more harrowing. I saw it. I only discovered this in a documentary starring Jackie Stewart. I didn't realise Jackie Stewart was almost like the Union rabble-rouser of Formula One.
Yep.
He was the guy, and there's a documentary about it called The Killing Years. How's that for a title? About the number of guys who actually died driving Formula One when the battle to make cars lighter and lighter and lighter. You know, at one point they made a car out of magnesium?
Yeah.
You see what magnesium does when it catches fire?
Flame,
Yeah. Well, there's a British driver called David Purley who... Because back then, when there were crashes, they didn't stop the races. They'd keep racing. And there was a guy called a driver called Roger Williamson. This is in the late '60s or early '70s, who burned to death in a crash. And David Purley stopped his car during a race. He was the only guy who stopped. He stopped and he was just waving his hands to everybody, going, "You can't keep driving. You can't keep driving." And the vision's horrible, but he goes to this car and he's trying to get Roger Williamson's burning body out of the car.
Gee.
And from memory, I think David Purley died himself in a plane crash a few years later. He was a real dashing sort of James Bond type pommy bloke. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he died in a plane crash not long after that. But he stopped his car in the middle of a Formula One race.
I think we had an incident like that, not that anyone died this year because the technology is so much better, where someone pulled over in a race just in this most recent season to help someone out because it was a horrific crash where the life was saved by the Halo, the new technology they've got. Sam Zell, resident motor, George Russell, the English driver, helped out the Chinese driver who crashed and got out and made sure he was okay. Great moments of sportsmanship. If you want to nominate one, you could win yourself a $100 Samtas Seafoods voucher, 8223 0000. Speaking of crashes, have you seen what played out in California on the near Caton? Corona. This is extraordinary. The vision of this is pretty remarkable, and the audio tells a bit of a story as well. Here's a bit of dash cam of what transpired when a single-engine aeroplane crashed into a truck on the 91 freeway in Corona in California yesterday.
Airplane landed on the freeway. Right in front of us. Here it is, right here. Oh, they jumped out!
They jumped out, all right, and they got away. It's remarkable. The thing burst into flames, and to watch the vision without context, you'd think, well, this is the worst has happened here. It wasn't the case. Here's the pilot, Andrew Cho.
It felt like a hard bump. The plane stalled and completely, and we fell to the ground. Already losing altitude, so there's no way I could make the airport. Your training kicks in to do the right thing, and as long as you don't panic, then I guess this is about as best outcome as you can want.
You know, interesting side note, when I was researching this story this morning and reading about it online, a lot of the sources in the first instance were traffic reports from, when we crossed a traffic like we will do in a few moments' time. And the traffic reports all put it in the traffic report language. So you would have things like a single-engine airplane has crashed along the eastbound lanes at Lincoln Avenue, or a plane has crashed in the leftmost lane on the 91 freeway. This sort of incidental information that is just the cornerstone of your usual traffic report being applied to a plane crash on a highway.
See, that's sort of what is known in journalism as burying the lead. You know, you need sometimes you need to convey more of a sense of amazement. It's like the guy who discovered Uluru, and in his travel journals, his name was Goss, Gosse, and he wrote a travel journal, and his entry about Uluru said, "I had been travelling in a northeasterly direction for several hours when I came upon a large rock, which I named after Mr. Air." That's all he wrote. Isn't that the worst bit of writing you've ever heard?
Underwhelmed, perhaps.
That's to get up the journos at work, the young ones, when they wrote, boring copy about amazing things, saying, "Let me tell you about the bloke who discovered Uluru. You've just discovered Uluru and called it a large rock." Like, dial it up a bit.
Kylie,
have a crack, son.
Absolutely, have a lash. Kylie in Glengarry has sent us a text on the Automasters text line. Great moment of sportsmanship. This is a lovely one. Kylie, she says, "My son has a heart condition. He decided to run the 400 metres at school. He was tiring quickly, so his friend stopped, jogged back to him, and ran with him across the finish line." That's a good friend.
Oh,
it's a great friend.
lovely.
That's a beautiful story, a beautiful sporting moment. I cried, says Kylie, and that's a really lovely moment. 8223 every call to the program through to 7:30 this morning in the running to win that $100 Samtas Seafoods voucher. We'll be giving it away in about 45 minutes' time. Let's check traffic until your new BMW arrives. Adelaide BMW help keep your current vehicle fueled. T's and C's apply.
Good morning. At Golden Grove, look out for traffic lights playing up on the Golden Way near Helicon Drive. At Wingfield, there's a breakdown slowing things up. It's on the north-south motorway near the Salisbury Highway. At Collinswood, you'll find Agent Sewer works this morning, North-East Road near Galway Avenue. And we're getting busy in a few spots, including South Road, Mile End, and Brighton Road at Brighton. Cameras at Burton Road, Paralawi, and Cavan Road at Dry Creek. The King Art of Living sale is on now. Save on selected Australian design award-winning furniture. Sale on now. Visit the King Keswick showroom today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
You deserve to enjoy doing what you're passionate about. Gardening, for example, or walking to keep fit. So if your body is stopping you from enjoying the life you want, come and see us at SportsMed. Our Stepney Healthcare Hub includes our own hospital, orthopaedic surgeons, doctors, physios and podiatrists. So we can see to your care from diagnosis to rehabilitation, all in one place. Easy. Get back to doing what you love. sportsmed.com.au.
Patience pays off, especially if you've been holding out for a great deal on a new Volkswagen. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen is now receiving truckloads of new Volkswagens. Yes, they're coming. And they're available at amazing prices. Remember Mawson Lakes Volkswagen for servicing too, with next day servicing and free loan cars. Get a great deal on Volkswagen now. Don't dilly-dally, dawdle or delay. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
It isn't waste until you waste it. That's the catch cry from an amazing company called Eco Waste Solutions. Eco Waste Solutions is a hard waste recycling facility, not a dump, located at Williston. They'll take everything except hazardous waste and food scraps. They'll take your waste bricks, your mattresses, tyres, soil, timber, steel, concrete and more. Plus, if you pre-sort your load, you'll receive a 50% discount on disposal fees. Google Eco Waste Solutions Williston for more.
APIA is offering a 10% discount on new comprehensive car or home insurance. Because the more you save, the more you can enjoy retirement. Like taking salsa classes. That's APIA value. Call APIA today on 13 50 50 to discover even more ways to save. T's and C's apply. Offer available until 30 October 22. Some optional extras excluded from discount. APIA is an authorised representative of AAI Limited, the product issuer. Read the PDS before buying this insurance. Call for copy. TMD also available.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Interest rate rises have created a level of uncertainty with some buyers and sellers. But demand is still outweighing supply, with stock levels down by 10% compared with a year ago. It's critical you work with an agent who can deliver the facts and guide you to a successful sale. With a history spanning almost 40 years and a team of unrivaled experience, Toop and Toop knows what it takes to maximise your results in any selling conditions. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Credit Union SA bonus savings account. Open your account and you could be rewarded with bonus monthly interest. Consider the T's and C's.
11 to 7, time to head to the Bureau. Tom Bowick, senior forecaster on deck this morning. How you doing, Tom?
G'day, Dave. Well, yeah, good, thanks.
All right, take us through Thursday. We've got some more rain coming today?
Yeah, look, I think it'll be dry for the morning period, but there's a low pressure system moving across from the west. There's a cloud band already just off the west coast of our state there with some showers and possible thunderstorms in that. But, yeah, so the morning should be dry. If you're lucky, maybe the sort of early to mid part of the afternoon as well, but a little bit unsure about that. But nevertheless, by the time we get to the end of the day, there'll be some showers around and a maximum of 16 degrees. That low pressure system is pretty slow moving for Friday, so it'll keep some shower activity going over the Adelaide area with a maximum of 15 degrees again. The weekend, look, in the wake of that low, which will be moving to the east, we'll be maintaining a sort of southwest to southerly airstream, and there's going to be some shower activity from time to time in that airstream. So bit of both, some breaks, but some showers as well. 15 for Saturday, 16 for Sunday. Continual easing of the weather for Monday and Tuesday of next week. Maybe just one or two showers around for Monday. Tuesday, I think, will be mainly dry. We've got 15 there for Monday, 16 for Tuesday. Another change next Wednesday, and 17 degrees with a shower or two, guys.
Thank you, Tom. That's great.
All right, let's head over to SOPOL. Senior Constable Matt Brown on the line. Matt, 3 teenagers have been arrested after a break-in.
That's right, Will. About 1 o'clock this morning, police were called to Phillip Avenue at Craigmore after a man arrived home and noticed people inside his house. He saw them run towards Adams Road, and then he found that his 2 cars had been stolen, a Toyota Hilux and a Toyota Yaris. So a short time later, a witness reported that the Yaris was abandoned in the middle of Park Lake Boulevard at Blakeview. And about 45 minutes after that, the Hilux was spotted on Yulee Road, where it was followed onto Adams Road before the pursuit was terminated. But then it was successfully road spiked at the intersection of Target Hill Road and the Golden Way out at Greenwith. Now, the car stopped soon after on Cobbler Drive, and 4 people were seen running away from the car. And police arrested a 15-year-old boy from Blakeview, and a 15-year-old boy from Kilburn, and a 14-year-old boy from Craigmore. And all 3 were charged with illegal use of a motor vehicle, engaging in a pursuit, and breach of bail. So they'll appear in the youth court later today. Now, one of the 4th offender is still outstanding. However, police are following positive lines of inquiry. Both cars were seized and will be forensically examined later today. So some good work by patrols there.
Good work by patrols and some gold standard parenting behind the fact that those kids are all running around on their own in the middle of the night. Matt, also, a car's been stolen from a caravan park in Hackney.
That's right, David. About 1:45am today, police were called to the caravan park on Richmond Street after reports that a man's cabin had been broken into and the keys to a 2007 grey Nissan Navara ute were stolen from inside. And the victim tried to grab the suspect, but he ran away and got in the victim's car, driving away and smashing through the boom gates of the caravan park. The car's registration plates of XOJ005. And the 2 suspects were wearing hooded jumpers, face masks and gloves. Anyone who may have witnessed the incident, please call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
And any update on the potentially attempted abduction at Glendale Primary, Matt? How's that situation unfolding for you?
Still under investigation by Western District detectives. About 10am on Tuesday the 9th of August, police were called to the Diagonal Road School after a man was seen behaving suspiciously on the school grounds, and he's alleged to have grabbed a girl on the arm and then left the area. But he's described as being about 180 centimetres tall, bald, and was wearing a knee-length light blue shirt, black pants, a black face mask, and was carrying a beanie. So Western District detectives have spoken with numerous people, including students, staff and parents who are in the vicinity of the school at the time, but are yet to identify any witnesses to the incident. So we're still appealing for people to come forward.
What did you say about his shirt, Matt? A knee-length?
Yeah, like an oversized big T-shirt.
All the way down to his knees?
So yeah, it must have stretched.
Yeah. Crikey. What a weirdo.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Senior Constable Matt Brown from SOPOL. We'll talk more about that story after 7 o'clock this morning. Let's head to the US first. Ashley Mullaney for 7 News is on the line. I've lost track of how many different investigations that Donald Trump's the subject of at the moment. I count 5 in my research at the moment. So you'll have to forgive me, Ashley. I'm not sure what he's pleading the 5th to at the moment, but I just know he's not talking to someone about something that he's alleged to have done.
There's a few balls in the air at the moment. You could be forgiven for losing track of them. So we'll start with the most pressing issue for Donald Trump today, which is related to his business dealings. This is Well, there's two actually. There's a civil and a criminal investigation happening in New York looking into his business dealings. And this is basically accusing him of misrepresenting the value of his company to acquire favourable loans, favourable tax breaks. So that's what New York's looking into at the moment. So he has turned up at the attorney. They were fighting tooth and nail to not have to do, to not have to give a deposition, but they lost that case. So Trump turned up at the Attorney General's office this morning. He pleaded the Fifth, which he had been heard several times on stage saying that, well, if someone's pleading the Fifth, they have something to hide. But in this case, it's working in his favour. He basically doesn't want to implicate himself in any potential crime, I would imagine. So that's why he's gone quiet. But you would have probably heard in the last couple of days about this search at Mar-a-Lago too, which is, I mean, it's unprecedented. It's you don't become numb, but you sort of do become numb to the crazy headlines related to Trump. But, here is a former president that has had his home, his primary residence, raided by the FBI. And the story there is that the National Archives obviously maintain all the records from the White House, presidential records, and they were fighting with the Trump family to get any leftover records that he might have taken when he left the White House and went down to Palm Beach. They eventually got some of them back earlier this year. They've gone through them, and the reporting is that when they've looked through these records, they've realised that some of them are classified documents. And obviously there's really strict protocol around the way that classified documents need to be handled. I mean, you don't just pull them out, throw them in boxes, whack them on the Trump Express and take it down to Palm Beach. That's just not how it goes. So there's some serious concern about that, and it's believed that's why the FBI has gone in. But as you can imagine, he's not happy about it.
You can say that as an understatement, Ashley. And also a very heartfelt and moving statement overnight from Olivia Newton-John's husband.
Yeah, this is only just in the last hour. John Easterling, everyone's been thinking of Olivia Newton-John's family at the moment, particularly her husband, John. Very, very close. She lived out her final days with John on their ranch in Santa Ynez, north of Los Angeles, and he's paid this really beautiful tribute to her. I'll read you part of it, a part of this statement. He said, "Olivia, our love for each other transcends our understanding. Every day we expressed our gratitude for this love that could be so deep, so real, so natural. We never had to work on it. We were in awe of this great mystery and accepted the experience of our love as past, present, and forever." He's incredibly grateful for the outpouring of support and love for the family, but no doubt a really difficult time for him and of course her daughter as well. But yeah, a really lovely statement from John Easterling today.
Good on you, Ashley. Thank you for that. Ashley Mullaney for 7 News in the United States on some of those big stories. And Ashley alluded to Donald Trump's views on the Fifth Amendment. We might play you a little bit of that after 7 o'clock this morning.
Fantastic.
8223000 is the number. Maybe you've got a thought on the abduction attempt at Glenelg Primary School. We'll talk more about that, as well as the Chinese ambassador at the press club yesterday suggesting that you might use your imagination about what the Chinese government could do with regard to what they call reunification with Taiwan. Ominous series of words. You'll hear more of them after 7 o'clock as well. In addition to Matt Abraham dissecting the spin of the week, Tom Duday a little bit later. And the best news story in South Australia at the moment, the Greens, the Scottish family that came over. They thought they were going to be sent back to Scotland, but they've been given a stay of a month, and that should be enough time to get them across the line for some sort of permanent residency solution. So
let them stay.
Absolutely. We'll be speaking with Mark
I see
Green
national heartstring tugging campaigns mounted on behalf of people who've done less for this country.
Absolutely. 2 minutes to 7.
If you need a window, and not just anything will do, just call Statesman Windows back to redirect to you.
Nobody beats Statesman Windows, not on quality and certainly not on service. Windows, sliding doors, bifolds and more, made right here in Adelaide, factory direct to you. For windows when and where you want them, call Statesman Windows, states.com.au.
Windows when and where you want them. Windows when and where you want them.
Sadly, insolvency is all too common these days, but there is another way. Through the new Small Business Restructure Initiative, Oracle Insolvency Services has helped people to keep control of their business, restructure their finances, and avoid insolvency for a stress-free future. If, like many South Aussies, you're worried about your financial future, call Oracle Insolvency Services on 1300 391 330. Oracle Insolvency Services, working to solve insolvency.
At Coles, you can save $10 with click and collect orders. Just spend $150 in one transaction and enter code COLLECT10 at the checkout for $10 off. Coles, value the Australian way. Ends August 16. T's and C's apply.
Terry White Chemmart has real deals on our ibuprofen 96 tablets at just $13.99. Plus, Demazin 12-hour decongestant nasal spray 20ml 2-pack for $11.89. Get real deals every day at Terry White Chemmart. Always follow the directions for use. Ends August 23.
Montine, everybody's talking about Montine. And everybody's talking about Montine Kia for immediate delivery on selected Kia vehicles. Montine Kia at Cheltenham has secured limited Kia vehicles that can be delivered today. Call 8300 1200 and ask for Matt Broadbent to secure your new Kia today and enjoy the ever-reliable 7-year warranty. And that's why everybody's talking about Montine Kia, for it's their uncanny ability to secure Kia vehicles for immediate delivery.
MVD 182170. 5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Showers increasing 16 today with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher.
Your ticket to live mortgage-free in Somerton Park is here, thanks to the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery.
Parents at a local primary school are concerned about an attempted abduction. The hunt is continuing for a man after the incident at Glenelg on Tuesday morning. He allegedly grabbed a young girl on the arm around 10 a.m. There are reports the girl was also filmed. These parents telling Seven it's alarming.
I think it's terrifying. I can't believe it happened. It's madness.
What that child went through, it must have been devastating.
Labor will invest $160 million to integrate more renewable energy into the electricity grid. Lucy Gray reports from Canberra.
The federal government has inked a deal with Queensland to fast-track Australia's largest wind farm precinct to the national electricity market. The move will boost network capacity by another 1,000 megawatts, helping to power 700,000 homes. It's hoped the project will make electricity supply more reliable and create jobs. Energy groups believe a similar model should be replicated across the country.
Olivia Newton-John's husband has shared a heartfelt tribute after her death earlier this week. In a statement, John Easterling has praised his wife's spirit and humour, even in her hardest moments. He's also thanked fans for the love and support they've shown in the past 48 hours. Australian scientists have made a breakthrough in understanding long COVID. A Griffin University study found the condition causes the same biological impairments as chronic fatigue syndrome. It's hoped the research will lead to treatment for more than 500,000 Australians estimated to be suffering from long COVID. Melbourne researchers have come up with a way to use old tyres in construction. Gail Watson has more.
The team from RMIT University says they've discovered a way to replace 100% of conventional aggregates in concrete, such as gravel and crushed rock, with rubber from discarded tyres. And they say it meets building codes. To date, efforts to replace all of the aggregates with rubber have produced weak concretes that fail to meet the required standards. The researchers say the production of the lighter concrete would unlock environmental and economic benefits by reducing manufacturing and transportation costs.
Australian researchers are worried the world's largest ice sheet could begin to melt if global warming isn't brought under control. It was previously thought the East Antarctic ice sheet contains was not very vulnerable to warming. But Australian National University's Professor Neroli Abram says the ice sheet is a sleeping giant, which could be woken if temperatures keep rising.
It holds the equivalent of 52 metres of sea level if it were all to be moved from on top of Antarctica and into the ocean. And what we've discovered is that there are parts of East Antarctica that are quite vulnerable to climate warming.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
10-year warranty and 10-year capped best price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
It's all happening in the tennis this morning, Tom Wren.
Yeah, it certainly is, Mel, and it's positive news too, because that's because Nick Kyrgios has scored a massive upset at the Canadian Open in Montreal. Kyrgios has defeated world number one Daniil Medvedev to progress to the third round. Craig Gabriel has more.
For just the second time in his career, Kyrgios has beaten the reigning world number one. The last time was when he beat Rafa Nadal at Wimbledon in 2014. Kyrgios has come from a set down to beat Medvedev, who's not only number one, but he was also the defending champion. 6-7, 6-4, 6-2. The Australian is going through a purple patch with his tennis, having won his first title of the year on the weekend, and has now won 14 of his last 15 matches.
He's going brilliantly, and a great result too for fellow Aussie Alex de Minaur, as he also progressed to the third round with a 7-6, 7-5 win against Grigor Dimitrov. To football now, and Adelaide defender Brodie Smith has praised the form of forward Darcy Fogarty. Fogarty has booted 24 goals in his past 10 matches, including 4 against West Coast last week.
We always knew he had that talent, and when he was in the contest, he's always been good. But now his work rate's really picked up as well, and he's getting himself into more and more contests and just playing amazing footy and kicking the ball so well too.
The Crows will be looking to make it 3 straight wins when they host North Melbourne on Saturday. The Power will name a squad for their match against Essendon, which is being played on Sunday at Marvel Stadium. And Carlton will head to the appeals board tonight in a bid to free up captain Patrick Cripps for the final 2 matches of the home and away season. And Live Golf officials are reportedly set to tour Australian golf courses in the coming days, scoping out a venue for a potential Rebel Live Golf Tour event here in Australia. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Golden Grove, look out for traffic lights playing up on the Golden Way near Helicon Drive. At Collinswood, you'll find Agent Sewer Works. It's North East Road near Galway Avenue. Findon, bitumen works continue there. Crittenden Road near Broadford Courts. And we're getting busy South Road at Mile End for the drive-in. Cameras today, Days Road, Ferryton Park and Kestis Road at Para Hills. Order or see coffee on the OTR app and enjoy freshly ground barista-made coffee. It's as easy as click and collect. OTR, making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
3 out of 4 people never hear back from interviews. Shouldn't people matter more than that? Zoom Recruitment.
Showers increasing today. The top is forecast of 16. Showers tomorrow 15. Saturday more showers 15. Right now it's 9 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Credit Union SA Bonus Savings Account. Open your account and you could be rewarded with bonus monthly interest. Consider the T's and C's.
Seven after 7, good morning to you. Welcome to Thursday. You're in the break in the rain at the moment. Should be okay for the next couple of hours throughout the morning, and then it's going to get wet again a little bit later. We'll get you across it, though, and keep you abreast of any developments on that front. Huge morning on 5AA Breakfast as well, of course. Matt Abraham after 7:30, Tom Duday after 8 o'clock, and Mark Green from the Green family, who, when we last spoke, they were up against the clock and the deadline for deportation back to Scotland. And it seemed like at that point they were without hope. Well, hope came by way of a call from the Premier of South Australia to the federal government. They've been granted a month-long extension. And my recollection is, from that chat we had with Mark Green, David, that they kind of just needed a little bit more time. It would be okay if they had more time to reapply. It was just a matter of timing and how long the bureaucratic cogs take to turn.
What do we think, South Australia? I think we let them stay, don't we?
Yeah.
They're the sort of people we want. You know, like the totally shared values, work ethic, never taken a cent from Centrelink. You know, they're not sitting on the bones of their backside going, what's the government going to do for me? All they want is permission to stay so that they can keep working. This guy, what's the term? Lifters versus leaners.
Yeah.
This guy is he's a lifter.
He's a lifter. He's a net contributor. We've got a $100 Samtas seafood voucher to give away to anyone who calls in and has their say on 8223 0000. So if you've got a view...
I mean, you think about, like, great South Australians, and one of the greatest I always come back to is Hugh Van Lee. What did he say? That lovely turn of phrase he had, our former governor, when he said, I arrived here with nothing but a suitcase full of dreams. You know, he rocked up as a boat person, and that wonderful story that he tells, because they were in a rickety wooden boat. They come all the way from Vietnam through Indonesia, and very rough seas, and they wound up in Darwin, and there were 2 blokes in a tinny fishing, drinking beer, and one of them called out, "What are you doing?" And Hugh Van Lay, because he'd learned English as a child and as a university student, he's very well educated, and he said, "Good morning, gentlemen. Could you please direct us to the nearest police station?" And these blokes went, "Bugger me, listen to that guy." They went to the police station and said, "We're here to claim asylum."
I reckon they are the most heartwarming and most quintessentially modern Australian stories, those of new Australians who love the place so much. They end up dedicating their lives to saying thanks. And I think of that excellent quote from Awama Bill, who used to play for Adelaide United, who at the World Cup qualifier against Peru stood up and took a penalty. And he was afterwards asked what was going through your head, and he said, "I just wanted to I wanted to repay this country for what they'd done for me and my family." That's what I was thinking about in the moment. Like, that's the gratitude these kind of guys have.
Yep.
When they come here and they fall in love with the place. So let us know, 8223 whether you think stay or not. We'll get to some of your responses coming through on the Automasters text line in a moment. Let's talk about what I think is the most disturbing story in South Australia, though, at the moment. Police investigating an abduction attempt at Glenelg Primary School. Happened on Tuesday morning. According to the Tigers reporting today, a man took photos of a Year 4 girl who was using the toilet. He then chased and grabbed her in front of witnesses. They saw one. There's a whole heap of witness accounts in this story, some conflicting, but the police are poring over that at the moment. Some witnesses saw a man enter a building, walk upstairs, and go into a hallway in front of teachers and students. Parents were spoken to on the news last night by 9 News. Have a listen.
It's pretty scary, isn't it? Yeah, it is a massive concern that anybody just from the outside can walk in and get the kids.
I always told my daughter to stay away and just don't talk to any strangers. Just wait for me until I get here.
Extraordinary. I just, for the life of me, I wonder what will happen to this guy if he does get caught. You know, what are the penalties for doing this? Like,
not quite abducting someone.
Yeah.
You can only imagine, can't you?
There's a gap here for government to do something heaps stronger, I think, in a legislative sense.
Schools just have to be... There can't be question marks over how safe you are dropping a kid off at school. Like, that's got to be that's a fundamental pillar of society, isn't
100%.
it? And it should be protected as such by the law. Donald Trump's having a couple of run-ins with the law at the moment. In fact, I'll go through, because I had a look at this after chatting with Ashley Mullaney. There are 5 legal battles that Donald Trump's engaged in at the moment. Of course, the search of his Mar-a-Lago home by the FBI in connection with his handling of classified records. There's a select committee having a look at the Capitol riots on January 6. There's the Justice Department examining his challenge to the results of the 2020 presidential election. There's a prosecutor in Fulton County, Georgia, who's investigating whether he and his associates tried to interfere in the state's election results. And there's a federal appeals court ruling on Tuesday that lawmakers can gain access to his tax records, which is something that a lower court had set up. So when Donald Trump's lawyer rings him at the moment, not sure if it's Rudy Giuliani still, but when he rings him, he has to say, well, about what? So he
got a bit going on.
The story overnight, as you've heard Ashley saying in 5AA News this morning, was about him pleading the Fifth. He was sat down and subpoenaed in one of these, civil action, and most of the legal analysis in the ensuing hours has said, well, the reason he pled the Fifth is not necessarily because of that specific case, but what might come out that affects one of these other 5 cases that are going on at the moment. He pled the Fifth, though. It's significant because previously he's had some strong views on this.
Taking the Fifth Amendment, like you see on the mob, right? You see the mob takes the Fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment.
Horrible.
Horrible.
I want the Fifth Amendment. I want immunity. The reason they get immunity is because they did something wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. They don't think in terms of immunity. Taking the Fifth Amendment, think of this, over and over.
And if you're not guilty of a crime, what do you need immunity for?
I mean, he made the point a few times about taking the Fifth, so people...
The thing about Trump, though, is like, whatever he said in the past, he would say, he'd probably say he didn't say it. You could probably play him that tape and he'd say, I never said that. I never said that.
His statement,
fake news.
I actually thought his statement was really good overnight about this, because he addresses it directly on his website and Truth Social, but he makes the point, now I know why people take the Fifth. It's when you've been unfairly prosecuted and targeted by partisan actors within the government and democratic plots. And he sort of builds this narrative that the protection is inbuilt for when the law officials are doing the wrong thing. And I think that'll play well to his supporters.
How reckless and dangerous a bloke is he, though? Like, the language that he uses is designed, and we saw this with the march on the Capitol, to make his most fervent supporters believe that you cannot trust any of the institutions that have made America great. You can't trust the courts, you can't trust the electoral system, you can't trust any arm of government. And it's I mean, this is a country that's already had one massive civil war, albeit over, different issues, slavery and the right of the South to pursue its own path policy-wise. But the guy is a walking incendiary device. And I don't see how anyone can look at him. I mean, you look at him, you hear his language, and it's superficially hilarious at times. But when you actually reflect on the weight of what he says, the guy is just deranged and dangerous.
Other story, just quickly, that's on the front page of pretty much every newspaper around the country this morning is following the National Press Club address of the Chinese ambassador to Australia, Zhao Qian, who was asked about what compelling circumstances would be to justify an invasion of Taiwan. You can imagine that was the hot button topic, given the millions of dollars worth of ordnance that that China have fired into the ocean around the area in the last week or so. Have a listen to what he had to say.
We can never rule out our option to use other means. So when necessary, when compelled, we are ready to use all necessary means. As to what does it mean by all necessary means, you can use your imagination.
You can use your imagination.
I'm not sure he turned up at the press club to sort of quell fears about conflict. Do you?
The guy, this new Chinese ambassador, he's got this amazing combination of sounding really friendly and articulate. But when you listen to the things that he says, it's like straight out of George Orwell's 1984. Like, what about what he said that after China, in their words, reunifies Taiwan, that is, invades/takes over Taiwan, subjugates Taiwan by any means necessary, use your imagination, he said they might also need a process of, quote, re-education.
Yeah, I'll read you his quote. I haven't read about such an official policy, but I think my personal understanding is that once Taiwan is reunited, coming back to the motherland, there might be a process for the people in Taiwan to have a correct understanding of China, the motherland. It's like, you're right, it's written as a sort of the language of a dystopian novel.
I just come back to that bloke at Joslin who came out of the Chinese embassy when I was there a couple of years ago doing that story, and he said, "Have you got permission to be here?" And I went, "Be where, mate? I'm on a street in Australia." He said, "Yeah, but did you get permission? Did you get permission from the government? Did you get permission from the police? Did you get permission from us?" I was like, No, I did not. I'm just here talking to the neighbours here on 5th Avenue. Who are pretty upset that you knocked their fence over.
82230000 is our number. If you've got a view on the news of the morning, we'd love to hear it. And you're in the running to win a $100 Samtas Seafood voucher. Excellent people at Samtas Seafoods, of course.
Love Samtas. Wonder if any of our Joslin listeners are listening. We don't need your name. Just anyone got any... what's the latest on the old Chinese People's Republic?
Camera in your backyard type stuff.
Yeah, I haven't actually spoken to any of the residents of Joslin for probably a year or so. It was about a year ago, maybe longer actually, that story blew up.
Lots of texts coming through as well. We'll get to those on the Automasters text line on the other side of the break. The other thing we're going to do on the other side of the break is give away 5AA's footy, fuel or food. Footy, fuel or food. Thanks to the great people at Foodland. Just need to be the first caller through and pick your prize. It's the easiest competition in the history of radio. We're going to be playing it next, but first let's check traffic until your new BMW arrives. Adelaide BMW will help keep your current vehicle fuelled. T's and C's apply.
Thanks, Will. At Parafield Gardens, look out for a smash on the Salisbury Highway. It's near Shepparton Road, causing a few delays. Golden Grove, we've got traffic lights playing up this morning. It's on the Golden Way near Helicon Drive. And Collinswood this morning, you'll find urgent civil works Northeast Road near Galway Avenue. Starting to get busy South Road at Mireland, also Brighton Road at Brighton, with cameras Main North Road, Blair Athol, and Montague Road at Cavan. Don't miss the 40 Winks sleep event of the year. Get up to 50% off mattresses and up to 30% off furniture, plus free local delivery. Hurry, limited time only. Exclusions and T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Leon Biner.
Supermarkets could soon be allowed to open 2 hours earlier on a Sunday because the government, headed by Peter Malinowskis, is basically saying, what would you like as a consumer? Let's go to John Paul Drake.
This is fantastic news, Leon.
9 till 12 weekdays.
This is a great step forward. All of our stores on Sunday, they have lineups out the front at 11 o'clock, so we're very excited by this.
SSA as Leon Biner. SSA as AA.
Life-changing moments can happen in many ways. Purchase a ticket in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery and you could be our next winner. The amazing $3 million grand prize in Somerton Park is a fully furnished Scott Salisbury home and is just one of many life-changing prizes to be won. Retire early, invest or live mortgage-free. The choice is yours. Support South Australia's healthcare heroes and join the fight at homelottery.com.au. Licence M14227.
The 7-seat Isuzu MUX is born to tow. With 3.5-tonne towing capacity, trailer sway control and a reversing camera as standard across the range. Hurry to your local Isuzu Ute dealer today.
G'day, it's Mark Bickley. When you buy a Leader computer, you're buying a computer made right here in Adelaide. You're dealing with people that live in Adelaide, and when it comes to servicing or support, it all happens here in Adelaide. Not overseas, not interstate. Unlike some others, Leader don't have to send anything off for repair. They take care of everything right here. It makes sense to live life local. Live life Leader. Leader Computers. Find your local dealer at leadersystems.com.au.
Gliderol has manufactured and installed garage doors in SA since 1974, and their commitment to quality is as strong as ever. So if it's time for a new look for your house or time to upgrade, why not now? Order a new roller door, sectional door or customer designer door with operator by December 30th and you'll receive a free premium operator upgrade and 2 bonus handsets. For a free measure and quote and helpful advice, search Gliderol today. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
Hi, Susanna Toop here from Toop and Toop. 21. That's the number of pieces of legislation your property manager must know to effectively manage your home. And non-compliance can impact on your insurance. Who are you trusting to look after your biggest investment? Toop.com.au.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Whatever you're saving for, get there quicker with a Credit Union SA bonus savings account. Please consider the T's and C's.
21 after 7. We'll talk sport in a moment. We'll push the 5AA food, fuel or the footy a little bit later in the morning, I think, because so many people want to have their say at the moment. Lots of texts coming in. Automasters text line. Comments on the 5AA Facebook and YouTube live stream, thanks to Credit Union SA. And calls as well. Let's head to Prospect. Andrew, good morning.
Oh, yes, good morning, gentlemen. Hey, you were just talking about this Chinese embassy in Jocelyn there. I've just recently moved from there anyway, but I was with a friend yesterday and they were looking at renting a property and in the area, and you can actually rent a property right next door to the Chinese embassy. So looking at getting a first-hand experience of the situation there.
What are they asking for, Andrew? Do you get money off the rent price? Is it a bargain?
Well, actually, my friend asked the real estate agent, what was next door, and she thought it was a big house. So it wasn't really up to date with what they're using there.
It's a beautiful area. It's a lovely part of town.
It is an absolutely beautiful area. As I said, like I'm pretty from that area.
Sorry, the line's a bit crackly.
Yeah, your line's just a little bit dodgy, Andrew.
There's a road, so on the western side of the consulate, there's a giant wall that they put up that's got all the security cameras along it, and there's a block of sort of 1960s style masonettes, like units, townhouses that are very old, quite humble looking places. And I spoke to a couple of the residents there. There's also at the eastern side, there's a big house where the people had their back fence knocked over and all of their internet cabling dug up by the embassy.
Oh,
and their
really?
And their dog escaped.
Well, that's disconcerting.
They came home and their dog was running around on the street. And they thought, how on earth did the dog get out? And then they went out the back and their back fence had been knocked over by a bulldozer. Seriously.
It's just extraordinary.
Maybe they need a bit of re-educating about what the like the people of Taiwan. Yeah, maybe you don't need your fence.
Linda in Happy Valley's also called in. Morning, Linda.
Oh, good morning, Dave and Will. I think Scott deserves to stay here in Australia permanently. I heard his story the last time he rang through. One, he loves Australia. He has his own job and pays taxes. He even said that he pays $8,000 for his daughter to attend a state school.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he's not just sitting there waiting and getting a government handout. He's actually contributing. So that's the good type of people you like and you want here. And it's great to have an update that he's at least.
Yeah. Good,
No,
well
good
said,
on you,
Linda.
Linda.
I agree with every word of that.
And I'll tell you what, there's a massive groundswell of support for Mark Green on the text line. Scott simply writes, we need 1,000 more Mark Greens. Another one here. Of course, these decent people should stay. Better than some of the no-hopers who try to stay sometimes. One here from Helen saying the Greens have come here legally and now the government wants to deport them. This is incompetent. How do these incompetent people hold their jobs? And Andrew says this family is exactly who we need and want. They came here to work as well, not illegally.
Who gets the Samtas $100 seafood voucher?
Let's give it to the last call.
All right, Linda gets it. Linda, you've got a $100 Samtas seafood voucher coming your way. Mark Green will be coming up on the program after 8:30 this morning. Let's turn our attention to sport.
$100 at Samtas goes a long way.
Be great.
That's well, you get those packs 4 for $60.
Depending on how many people you're feeding, it's a barbecue or two.
Oh, and the rest. Heaps.
Let's talk sport. Book your service online at North Point Toyota to win the cost back. It's the North Point way. Rowing and Timmy last night. Love this chat with our greatest ever basketballer, Lauren Jackson, who's coming out of retirement at 41 years old and has been selected to play in her 5th World Cup for Australia, her first in 9 years since retirement.
How is the body holding up? And when you go to training, do all the other players look at you and go, you were a poster on my wall?
Yeah, I've had that a few times. Even in games, I've had some people just being like, wow, you know, I've come to this moment, you're a legend, you know, and it's like, oh my God, you know, I'm out there, you know, wincing and complaining that people are beating me up, and then they're like, wow, you're my role model. Like you were, you know, my icon when I was growing up, and it was like, wow, okay, I've got to like put myself in other people's positions and like, really think through that, but yeah, it does. I do feel very old, especially when I'm coming up against these sort of 25-year-old kids that are like, you know, when I was a kid, you were my idol.
You can't buy experience, Lauren.
Yeah.
That's actually going to be a phenomenon that grows as we're starting to see, you know, more sports people in their 40s doing it. Tom Brady's always the one that people refer to. Lauren Jackson there. See Fernando Alonso in the F1 got a 2-year contract into his 40s just the other day. Federer. Like, there's just people in their 40s is becoming increasingly commonplace. But with it is this phenomenon of people, you know, sometimes you always see those videos of footballers meeting their idols and then they get to play with them. They're sort of 16 and and then a couple of years later they're on the field with them. But now it's the kids that the very first memory of the sport. Like there will be people that the first time they played basketball, the best player in the world was Lauren Jackson when they were 5 or 6 years old, that now will be playing against her. Like the whole inspiration for getting into it. And that would be playing out in other sports around the place.
You know,
everywhere.
The great unsung pioneer in this space, Ralph Zip Zap Sewer.
How old was Ralph? He played, 5 decades?
4 decades.
4 decades, yeah 5
he
decades.
He played in the 1950s, 60s, 70s and 80s for the Mighty Peckers. So I think he started in 1959, finished in 1980, something like that.
I think it's great that we're seeing sports people into their 40s.
Yeah.
Because there's still this mental block, and when you hear it when people talk about list management of football clubs, and you know, you pick your favourite sport, it happens. It's like the psychological, they're 30. And we haven't moved past the idea that 30 means you're about to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
When all the evidence is suggesting, actually, 30 might be the new 27 or 25, and 35 might be the new 30.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, you look at, talking about Olivia Newton-John this week. She was 73 years old, and instinctively most people today go, that's young.
Yes.
30 years ago, 73 was a good innings.
Well played.
Like people go, yeah, it's not a bad knock. I'd like to make it to 75. Like the idea now that 75 is a dream age.
It's below average.
Yeah. It is below average, isn't it, in Australia?
For a woman, yeah.
So if it's happening to the rest of us, it follows that it would happen in sport too.
I'll check. Life expectancy in Australia as of 2019. How about this? 82.9.
That's amazing, isn't it?
82.9. And I can track it back for you by virtue of a very handy little graph. In 1970, it was just over 70 years old.
Geez, that's a huge
Isn't that
jump
amazing?
in such a short space of time, isn't it?
The majority, if you're just looking at how the graph plots, the from about 1980 onwards, it has just been a 45-degree angle trajectory of life expectancy growth. It's quite phenomenal. All right, let's...
I like this sports-based analogy for our discussions about China this morning. G'day, lads. Why do I feel like Australia's the Mitchell Park Lions going on a road trip to play China, who are Geelong at Gardenia Park? Let's not go undercooking the might of the mighty Mitchell Park Lions.
That is a tremendous analogy, Mick. Well played to you. All right,
Pride of Bradley Grove.
More from Rowie and Timmy Geneva tonight. Book your service online at North Point Toyota to win the cost back. It is the North Point way.
APIA's offering a 10% discount on new comprehensive car or home insurance. Because the more you save, the more you can enjoy retirement. Like taking salsa classes. That's APIA value. Call APIA today on 13 50 50 to discover even more ways to save. T's and C's apply. Offer available until 30 October 22. Some optional extras excluded from discount. APIA is an authorised representative of AAI Limited, the product issuer. Read the PDS before buying this insurance. Call for copy. TMD also available.
Concrete. It's not always dull and grey. At Outback Sleepers, our concrete is stylish and inspiring. Outback Sleepers come in a variety of colours and patterns, from plain through to sandstone, rock and slate textures. And they're all designed to last for generations by a company that only manufactures concrete sleepers. If your builder is not using Outback Sleepers, you need to be asking why not. Trust the brand Outback Sleepers, sold at over 60 local landscaping and hardware stockists. outbacksleepers.com.au.
Now, it's not unusual to need a little extra support after a hospital stay. At the ECH Care Hotel in Walkerville, you can recover and regain confidence before returning home to live independently.
You'll have peace of mind knowing a range of support from health professionals is available, and while you recover out of hospital at the ECH Care Hotel, you can enjoy all the comforts of a hotel stay, including private suites and room service.
Private suites and room service? Well, that sounds pretty good wherever you are and whatever you're doing. So recover and regain confidence before you return home. Sounds like a perfect idea at the ECH Care Hotel in Walkerville. To find out more or discuss funding options, call ECH on 1300 275 324 or visit ech.asn.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Showers increasing 16 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Turn your dreams into reality with the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. There's more big winners than ever before.
Security has been placed outside Glenelg Primary School as investigations continue into an attempted abduction. A man allegedly entered the premises on Tuesday morning and grabbed a young girl on the arm in front of teachers and students. These parents telling Nine it's terrifying.
It's pretty scary, isn't it? It is a massive concern that anybody just from the outside can walk in and get the kids.
I always told my daughter to stay away and just don't talk to any strangers. Just wait for me until I get here.
2 cars have been stolen from a Craigmore home with 3 teenagers arrested. A man arrived home around 1 this morning and noticed people inside his Phillip Avenue property. He saw people run from his house toward Adams Road before noticing a Toyota Hilux and Toyota Yaris had been stolen from his driveway. Senior Constable Matt Brown has told David and Will one of the cars was found abandoned at Blakeview and road spikes were used to stop the other vehicle.
And police arrested a 15-year-old boy from Blakeview and a 15-year-old boy from Kilburn and a 14-year-old boy from Craigmore, and all 3 were charged with illegal use of a motor vehicle, engaging in a pursuit and breach of bail, so they'll appear in the youth court later today.
A ute has been stolen from a caravan park at Hackney this morning. Just before 2, police were called to the Richmond Street Park, where a man's cabin had been broken into and the keys to his grey Nissan Navara ute had been taken. The victim tried to grab the suspect, but he ran away, got in the victim's car and smashed through the boom gates. The car's registration is XOJ005. Labor will invest $160 million to integrate more renewable energy into the grid. The money will be used to link Australia's largest wind farm precinct to the national electricity market. It'll help power 700,000 homes and create hundreds of local jobs. The Air Force has sent a deployment of aircraft and personnel to New Zealand for its first combined training exercise since the pandemic. It's also the first time the RAAF has taken its new PC-21 aircraft overseas. Squadron leader Ian DiCarlo says it's an important element of operational preparedness.
Having a chance to exercise with partners in the region like New Zealand gives us an opportunity to come together with practicing our procedures and making sure that we are aligned in our training.
Domino's has pulled out of Italy, the chain unable to make a go of it in the country where pizza was born. The first Italian outlets opened in 2015, but Domino's has now closed the last of their 29 stores. And Disney is winning the streaming war. Latest quarterly results show it now has more subscribers than Netflix across all platforms. Disney's also announced a start date for the cheaper version of Disney Plus, which will include ads. That service will launch December 8. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
New Mitsubishi Triton with 10-year warranty, 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Adelaide and Port Adelaide will name their sides for their respective matches tonight. The Crows will have to make at least one change for their clash against North Melbourne on Saturday, with Will Hamill set to miss through concussion, while Roos veteran Ben Cunnington will return after overcoming testicular cancer. Port Adelaide meantime will name only a squad for their match against Essendon, which is being played on Sunday at Marvel Stadium. Meantime, Carlton will try to free Patrick Cripps to play the rest of the home and away season at the AFL Appeals Board tonight. Eddie Summerfield reports.
The tribunal heard an hour of evidence on Tuesday night, ultimately upholding a two-match ban handed to Patrick Cripps for a high hit that left Brisbane's Calamarchi concussed. Clubs can only challenge a tribunal decision on 4 grounds: either error of law, an unreasonable decision no tribunal acting reasonably could have come to, the classification of offence being excessive or inadequate, or an excessive or inadequate sanction.
Let's go to tennis. Nick Kyrgios has beaten the current world number 1 for the second time in his career, beating Daniil Medvedev at the Canadian Open. After besting the Russian in 3 sets, the Wimbledon finalist told beIN Sports he's keeping his ambitions measured ahead of the US Open.
If I was to put myself in a position of a Grand Slam, you still got to win another set against him, and that's not easy at all. He's a machine, and he's the best player in the world for a reason, and the Grand Slam is a totally different beast.
Kyrgios will now face compatriot Alex de Minaur in the third round after he also had a win against Grigor Dimitrov in straight sets. Women's cricket captain Meg Lanning has announced she's taking an indefinite break from the game, effective immediately for personal reasons. And Real Madrid has claimed the UEFA Super Cup following a 2-0 win against Eintracht Frankfurt. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Parafield Gardens, there's a smash on the Salisbury Highway near Shepperton Road. Golden Grove, traffic lights playing up there. It's on the Golden Way near Helicon Drive. At Collinswood, urgent sewer works North East Road near Galway Avenue. And Belair gas connection works continue Main Road near Minouta Drive. Busy at the moment, South Road at Mile End with a camera Addison Road at Pennington. Tomorrow's car is in stock today. Tech drive a Hyundai Tucson Turbo Diesel at your Hyundai dealer and experience innovative tech and all drive performance. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
3 out of 4 people never hear back from interviews. Shouldn't people matter more than that? Zoom Recruitment.
16 and showers increasing today, showers tomorrow 15, Saturday more showers and 15, and the showers will continue on Sunday as well. Right now it's 11 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
I don't really like talking on radio, but I do like talking about our cows at the FIVEAA Milk Company. And I love helping support SA dairy farmers. They're a great bunch with beautiful families. They work day and night to produce the best milk in SA. So when you're in the supermarket, look for FIVEAA Milk Company. South Australian and proud of it. I'm getting good at this.
FIVEAA Milk Company, celebrating 15 years of SA business. FLURIOMilkco.com.au.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Look, we get it. Nobody likes to wait, especially for a new car. That's why Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi would like to give you something cool to do in the meantime, like giving you a $50 gift voucher. Spend it any way you like while waiting for your new car to arrive. Take a test drive today for your $50 gift voucher. T's and C's apply. Only at Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi, driven by Australian Motors.
Right here, right now, right
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Whatever you're saving for, get there quicker with a Credit Union SA bonus savings account. Please consider the T's and C's.
22 to 8, John Blake coming up before 8 o'clock. Tom Duday from the Crows after 8 today, and Mark Green after 8:30. This really good news story.
I owe Ralph Sewer an apology. I inadvertently aged him by a decade. The Woodville great. I said he started in 59 and finished in about 1980. He actually started in 68 and finished in 91. Stephen Kidman Park texted in and also pointed out he was also the first grandfather to play league football. How's that for an honour?
Quite remarkable. All right, let's start dissecting spin.
9 to 10, out of 10, every time.
Matt Abraham in the studio. Thanks to your local Mitre 10 friendly service, expert advice, quality brands at great prices. That's mighty helpful. Mitre 10. Morning, Matt.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, David.
Well, we accidentally cost the Labor Party $125,000, Matt.
Whoopsie.
Although, conversely, the CFMEU should thank us because we saved them a bit of day.
Exactly. 125 grand back. And
never let John Setka complain about the coverage he gets from us.
They got what they wanted anyway, which was their image enhanced in the right quarters,
yes.
not probably with the public. There was an inevitability to Peter Malinauskas having to give them, well, not him personally, but
well, you
the
guys,
executive.
Let's rewind to last week. You were right, Matt, and Will was right. I was wrong. I didn't think they would hand it back, but you guys said last week that you thought that they would, and then clearly the evidence that the allegations that emerged about the carry-on at the Master Builders Association provided Mallee with a trigger.
Or was it an excuse? He had to have something, and he couldn't.
Something to change.
The politics of this was...
Are you suggesting that somewhere under Peter Malinauskas' desk there's 2 broken windscreen wipers?
No, David.
No, David, we are not.
No, David.
We are not. But
I'm certainly not suggesting that.
No. But one broken windscreen wiper. Was it 2? Anyway.
2, I think.
2 broken windscreen wipers on Will Frogley, NBA boss's car, was the catalyst for Peter Malinauskas apparently realising that this is vandalism and the sort of industrial relations we can't have. Even though he was under pressure from, I think, probably the most convincing play I've seen from the opposition or from the Liberal Party, both in opposition and in government, in prosecuting a case, to give the money to a domestic violence charity. Now, Peter Malinauskas couldn't do that. That would be, that would be admitting they were taking money from a union that's got some, baggage, real baggage on that front. So he had to have a trigger, and the trigger was his concern about a sticker being put on an NBA field car saying CFMEU and a bent windscreen wiper on Will Frogley's car. And I think that's, well, it was a reason for him to act. But a pretty flimsy one, really. He didn't need that. There's plenty of evidence.
Well,
I mean, if the police are looking
you've
for
seen the video
windscreen wiper culprits around Adelaide, they're going to be very bloody busy.
But don't you think it was one of those little signals that, as the state's leader, you'd look at that and go, So every time something like this happens, it's on me. So he just had to sever the tie. Because, Blakey's been having a field day with it.
Blakey's been brilliant. I was laughing my head off when he's...
CFMEU releases its first single. I had people in the building industry yesterday going, hey, mate, can you text me Blakey's sketch? When you've become the stuff of parody, and I know for a fact that the Premier saw that video last week and was going...
That's it. You don't... You don't. What do I have to do to get this off my desk?
Yeah.
Is the thing. But it took him a long time to come to that. I think it took him... because he's not used to having to do backflips. So I don't think he's ever had to do one in his career.
Yeah, I don't think he has.
So
no, you're right.
It's like, how do I do this?
How do you assess the damage then? Is it permanent? Does the mud stick, or do you think they acted swiftly enough that by the time we go to the polls in 3.5 years' time, this will be long forgotten?
I think they've given the money back. They've sort of, officially severed the ties. I don't think it'll be a big vote changer come 3.5 years' time.
No.
But one thing now, I got an email this morning on an account. I've got quite a lot of email accounts. Mainly, I use it for like accounts with Tackle World or BCF or Snowy's Outdoors
and the odd disgruntled Liberal source.
Yeah,
so this is your recreational account.
It's and I got this one. So not many people have got it, and I occasionally give it to political parties if they want to send me emails. This one's from Concerned Liberals.
Oh, okay.
And it's on a Proton Mail account. Now, Proton Mail is an account where you can remain invisible. Your identity is pretty well covered, apparently. I don't have I got a Proton Mail account? I might have. Anyway, this says... now, can I just preface this by saying I don't know who Concerned Liberals are. And this could be from Concerned Labor, in inverted commas. But does Spears really want the job, it says? We parted the seas for this guy to be leader, gave him a massive opportunity. Now we have an issue damaging the government, and he spent the weekend cruising the Whitsundays on a millionaire's yacht. His last media appearance was the 18th of July. That was more than 3 weeks ago. It goes on to say a lot of us put aside our differences and backed him in to be leader. We're starting to realise we made a big mistake.
He went to Scotland to see his family, didn't he?
Well, that's not, yeah. Now, I reckon the opposition leader could go missing at this stage of the electoral cycle, can go missing for sort of 2 or 3 months, and it wouldn't make any difference come the next election. But that's an interesting email, if it is from Concerned Liberals within his own ranks. But the question I've got is another one, and that is, why have they been so effective when he's not there?
That's a good question.
Like they really have been sort of coordinated and forceful and.
Well, it was funny.
And
though,
that's the bigger question for me.
We did a breaking 8 on it the other day because Peter Malinowskis took 2 weeks off, overlapping with school holidays. Normally, and you think back to Scott Morrison and all of the flack he copped for Hawaii. And obviously in the midst of a bushfire. But the opposition could have very easily turned around when the Premier had his 2-week break and said, oh, so here we go, 12 weeks after the state election, in the middle of a new Omicron wave, when ambulance ramping still hasn't been fixed, and there's a cost of living crisis, where's the Premier?
Yes.
Not a peep. And I'm not saying that that's a valid line, but I'm saying...
It's a line.
It's a line, and politics is about opportunism, so why not run it? Well, the reason they didn't run it is because their bloke had his bags packed and was about to go.
Had the kilt packed in the...
There are those funny sort of Cold War-esque sensibilities sometimes in politics. Like, you rarely hear opposition pairs getting tackled publicly. If there's a pair because someone has an absent in Parliament because we're going to need one at some point in time and someone's going to have something else to go to. It's kind of just considered a no-go zone, like holidays have been clearly in this instance.
Particularly school holidays, you've got a young family.
That's right. Yeah, let's not bring this stuff up and make everyone's life more difficult.
Hey, Matt, Will made a good point this morning. We were chatting off air about this, but the fact that Peter Malinowskis picked up the phone to the new Immigration Minister, Andrew Giles, and he said, hey, listen, we've got this lovely family here in Adelaide who are about to get the bums rush and get kicked out. Do you reckon you could have a bit of a look at it? There's a few pointers now, and we made a bit of a list. Him saying we're not going back to mask mandates. Him saying I am not going to let the City Council decide how the city runs when it comes to big events like the Harvest Festival. The fact that he's read the tea leaves properly, albeit awkwardly, over the CFMEU. He's much more interventionist, isn't he, in his style? And it's probably going to play well for him in the long run, isn't it?
I think so, because they're populist issues. And, the idea of politics is to be popular. Because the reverse of that is you're unpopular, and if you're unpopular for long enough, you lose. So he's populist, but he's also activist. No, I think it's just smart. I mean, if there's a good local issue,
get on it,
and you believe it, and I think he does on those. You get on it. You do something.
What I can't get a proper gauge of is he particularly populist, or are we just coming off the least populist leader Premier in recent history? Because Stephen Marshall was allergic to intervening in things that had short-term political game that might have been, spurious. interventions otherwise.
Like winning, you mean? Or?
Yeah, like winning.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, to be honest, I think there's, if you can count instances in the last few decades, maybe forever, in the Liberal Party in this state, being allergic to doing the obvious politically populist thing, because ranks are often filled with people that have come from outside and have this, I'll show these politicians how it's done. You don't need to play politics kind of tutting view, because they say, well, this plays well with my mates, not realising that your mates aren't the issue to win an election. And I think it's actually endemic. And seeing the contrast between Stephen Marshall and Peter Malinauskas in this last year has laid that bare for me.
I mean, I see it even now, and he's been out of politics a long time, with John Olsen, former Liberal Premier, who wasn't populist. And I see elements of that in his handling. I don't ever get me involved as a sports commentator, okay? But I am an interested observer of the politics of the game.
You're a master of spin.
And watching him talk about it coming out, and I'm thinking, and then he was asked about Mark Prosciutto, and that's not on. What was it? Not on the agenda.
Not on the agenda.
Not on the agenda. Well, why not? I mean, why not? Yes. So I watched John. I'm not going to go much further on that, but I watched John Olsen, and I think, when you talk like that, when he talks like that, it reminds me of how he was as Premier. There's sort of almost there's a bit of a stubbornness there, and not a refusal, but a difficulty in seeing what the rest of the community is seeing sometimes.
Part of it, I think, is the Liberal weakness for thinking, well, hang on, we're just focusing on the fundamentals. Surely that's enough.
Yeah.
And that was Stephen Marshall's mantra throughout the election campaign, where he lost almost every seat that he held.
All right, let's rate some spin.
Out of 10, every time.
Now, I could use a Chinese ambassador.
What about that guy? Did he
I'll let you use your imagination. Is that one of the most chilling things anyone's...
My word.
Yeah. No, this is Matthew Guy. He's the Victorian... he has the misfortune to be Victoria's Liberal opposition leader.
What's second prize?
And he's being interviewed, and it's a hilarious interview, because you wonder, if you're not going to answer any of these questions, why are you bothering on going on 3AW Drive's program with Tom Elliott? And Tom Elliott was asking him about his former Chief of Staff, who had resigned after it emerged that he'd asked a Liberal Party donor to make more than $100,000 in payments to his private business outside of his taxpayer-funded salary. So Tom Elliott was boring in on this, and Matthew Guy was digging in.
His emails say that you actually agreed to the scheme. Is that true?
Well, if something was agreed to, why did it never take place?
Well, according to The Age, it didn't take place because the donor was the one who said no to it.
Would you believe everything you read in The Age with great respect?
No, I wouldn't, and that's why I'm asking you directly, and you can just set the record straight here and we'll move on.
I've said over and over again, if I'd agreed to something, then what? The biggest indication to yourself should be that nothing took place.
There you are. If a tree falls in the forest and there's nobody there, does it make a sound? I'm giving Matty Guy 4 out of 10.
Out of 10.
Good on you, Matt. Look forward to your future in sports commentary as well.
Yeah,
I know it's an exciting new leaf you've overturned.
Long time coming.
Boundary rider, Matt Abraham.
Let's check traffic until your new BMW arrives. Adelaide BMW help keep your current vehicle fuel. T's and C's apply.
At Parafield Gardens, there's a smash on the Salisbury Highway near Shepperton Road. At Collinswood, urgent civil works, North East Road near Galway Avenue. At Findon, bitumen works continue, Crittenden Road near Broadford Court, affecting both directions. And we're busy right now, South Road at Mile End and also Brighton Road at Brighton. Cameras, Cavan Road, Dry Creek and Days Road at Ferryden Park. Hungry? Head to Oporto for the Bondi Burger Box. Double Bondi Burger, 2 crispy chicken strips, snack chips, drink and dipping sauce, just $16.95 at Oporto. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Don't just send it, ace it. It's not just your deliveries that ASIC Couriers look after. They're also proud supporters of the community. Chris, tell us more.
That's right, Rowie. At ASIC Couriers, we're proud supporters of over 16 sporting clubs. We also work with and support the Breakthrough Mental Health Research Foundation to strive for a happy and positive workplace. By supporting us, you're also supporting the community.
Don't just send it, ace it.
Need a forklift? Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. Toyota is the world's #1 forklift brand with a great range of pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options, Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota forklift advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au. Get a Toyota forklift.
Gliderol has manufactured and installed garage doors in SA since 1974, and their commitment to quality is as strong as ever. So if it's time for a new look for your house or time to upgrade, why not now? Order a new roller door, sectional door or customer designer door with operator by December 30th and you'll receive a free premium operator upgrade and 2 bonus handsets. For a free measure and quote and helpful advice, search Gliderol today. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
Now, when you want to cook up a seafood storm, go straight to the people that process it and distribute it. Of course, I'm talking about Samtas Seafoods. They're factory direct and open 7 days.
Yeah, where else can you get 4 kilos of premium seafood for just $60? Snap frozen kilo packs of your favourites at Samtas. You can choose from Atlantic salmon portions, flathead, snapper and barramundi fillets, crumb garfish, salt and pepper squid, crumb prawns and more.
And 4 kilos for $60.
That's unbelievable.
You get a staggering amount of meals out of that. Plus, they've also got an incredible range of premium, fresh South Australian seafood too, with factory direct prices. Fresh local sweet Coorong mullet fillets, just $25.99 a kilo. That's less than $2 a piece. And how's this freshly peeled South Australian raw prawn meat? Don't come the raw prawn at Samtas. $45.99 a kilo.
Load up with the 4 kilos for $60 deal and try some incredible, fresh, premium South Australian seafood. Get to Samtas Seafoods. Open 7 days. Factory direct, Richmond Road, Richmond.
There's no blueprints to your new custom-built Beechwood home. Well, not yet anyway. But together with Beechwood, it won't take long to turn your ideas into sketches, then drawings, and finally a home you can live a beautiful life in. That's the really exciting thing about building with Beechwood Homes. They'll build the home you want. So collect your thoughts, your ideas, your Pinterest boards, whatever, and let's talk. Because life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Credit Union SA Bonus Savings Account. Open your account and you could be rewarded with bonus monthly interest. Consider the T's and C's.
5 minutes to 8. John Blake in a moment. Mark sent in a text saying, good to see the usual lib bashing session. You must really dislike Marshall. I actually think everything
we spent 2 weeks crucifying the Labor Party about the CFMEU.
No, I actually kind of think when you talk about Stephen Marshall's aversion to doing populist politics, I do it with a degree of admiration. I think it's
Same.
I think it's politically self-harming, but totally admirable.
Yeah, I thought
it's a bad way of winning.
But the most fundamentally decent person ever to have lost an election.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, I remember doing a piece saying, this will be like when John Fay got beaten by Bob Carr. Fay had done nothing other than win Sydney the Olympics and save Prince Charles' life from a sniper. Then he got voted out. I was thinking, what did Stephen Marshall really do that was that wrong? Yeah. Anyway, Mark, you're entitled to your opinion, mate. Thanks for the text.
Thanks to Smeg. It's time for the dish
Smeg
that
time.
defines your suburb.
Building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Debney Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg. We're giving away a hand mixer today.
We are. It's been a while. We didn't do it last week because of the Undy drive.
So what's the suburb? What's your take on the dish?
We are heading to Adelaide's suburban northwest to the absolutely sensational suburb of Semaphore. I reckon Semaphore is one of the great suburbs in Adelaide. Now, if Semaphore was a dish, just paint the mental picture. You're down there, you got your toes in the sand, it's a 32-degree day, you've just gone to Soto's, you've opened the bag, walking down from Soto's, you've got to tear a hole in the paper because otherwise the chips get sweaty. The one key thing that you need, and to me, you can taste it. You can, just thinking about it, you can taste it. A potato fritter.
Potato fritter.
A hand-cut potato fritter. If Semaphore was a dish, It will be a hand-cut potato fritter.
What is your take, folks? 8223 you win yourself that magnificent Smeg appliance. All right, it's time for John Blake. Thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight distribution, warehousing, and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast on 13 13 64.
Hello.
Hello, former Premier Jay.
Who's this?
You know perfectly well who it is. It's Tom Kutsantonis.
G'day, Tom.
Former Premier Jay, this won't be a pleasant phone call.
You mean as opposed to all the other phone calls?
Yeah, no, what?
Go on.
Well, former Premier Jay, this may come as a shock to you, but some things are just out of a person's control.
Like elections?
Yeah, well...
Congratulations, by the way, Tom.
Oh, yeah, thanks, former Premier Jay. But look, don't say nice things. You'll just make this harder for me.
What is it you want to say, Tom?
Former Premier Jay...
Yes, Tom.
I think we should try a trial separation.
A what?
A trial separation. I know this is a bombshell, and I want you to try and see it from my point of view.
Ah, okay.
For a long time now, I feel like we've been drifting apart.
You felt that?
Yes, and I think I owe it to you to be honest.
Don't forget you're a politician, Tom.
No, I won't.
No time to start being honest.
Former Premier Jay, just let me say this.
Okay.
I have to tell you, I've been seeing another Premier.
Tom, how could you?
I know, I never planned for it to happen. It just did, and here we are.
I am shocked.
Oh, former Premier Jay, you're a nice man. You'll find somebody else. I've always said somewhere in the world there's a Premier for everyone.
Yeah.
Or in your case, a former Premier's underling for everyone.
I'm sure I'll get over it. Time heals even the deepest wounds, Tom.
Well, that's very mature of you, former Premier Jay, so I'm afraid this is goodbye.
So it's not a trial separation. You're just going straight for divorce.
I know, but I couldn't bring myself to say it. This is the second time I've teared up in a week.
Cheer up, Tom. Who is this other person anyway?
His name is not important.
It's important to me. I want to know.
Well, his name is Peter.
All right.
So, former Premier Jay, I wish only good things for you. And goodbye.
Goodbye, Tom.
Yeah. Oh, poor man's hysterical.
5AA News time, back with Breaking It 8 next.
For over 38 years, Steinborner has been well worth the trip. With over 400 used cars to choose from, you're sure to find the car you're looking for. Steinborner is your first choice for new Hyundai and Mitsubishi in the Barossa, and your first choice for Ford in Clare. And don't forget, you can always click through the collection of vehicles online at steinborner.com.au. Great local deals on great local cars from your locals. Steinborner Automotive. Still well worth the trip, or well worth the click.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Showers increasing 16 today with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher.
Your ticket to live mortgage-free in Somerton Park is here, thanks to the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery.
Security remains in place at Glenelg Primary School after an attempted abduction on Tuesday. A man reportedly tried to grab a young girl in a hallway around 10 a.m. in front of teachers and students. He's described as around 180 centimetres tall, bald, and was wearing a light blue shirt, black pants and a face mask. The school has sent a letter to parents about the incident and investigations are continuing. Police are looking for a ute stolen from Hackney just before 2 this morning. Patrols were called to a caravan park on Richmond Street. Senior Constable Matt Brown has told David and Will a man's cabin had been broken into and the keys to a grey Nissan Navara ute had been taken.
The victim tried to grab the suspect, but he ran away and got in the victim's car, driving away and smashing through the boom gates of the caravan park. The car's registration plates of XOJ005, and the two suspects were wearing hooded jumpers, face masks and gloves.
3 teenagers will face the youth court today following an early morning break-in at Craigmore. Police were called to Phillip Avenue around 1 this morning after a man got home and noticed strangers inside. He saw people running from his property toward Adams Road and then noticed 2 cars had been stolen from his driveway. One of the cars was found abandoned in Blakeview before road spikes were used to stop the second car a short time later. A 15-year-old boy from Blakeview, 15-year-old boy from Kilburn and 14-year-old Craigmore boy have been charged while a search continues for a 4th offender. A Scottish family living in Adelaide for the past decade has been given an 11th hour reprieve just hours before they were due to be deported. Mark Green is an electrical expert who was headhunted by a local solar company for his specialised skill set. But after his bridging visa wasn't renewed, he and his family were due to leave Australia last night. A phone call from the Premier to the Federal Immigration Minister has seen them given an extra month to plead their case for residency. Donald Trump has declined to answer questions while appearing under oath at the New York Attorney General's office as it probes his business practices. The BBC's Rachel Wright says it comes just days after a raid at Mar-a-Lago.
Donald Trump turned up at the office of the New York Attorney General to face questions in a totally separate investigation. Letitia James has been looking into whether the Trump Organization misled lenders and tax authorities about the value of property it owns. Earlier this month, Mr. Trump's children, Ivanka and Donald Jr., were forced to give depositions in the civil case, but the former president has refused, citing his Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate himself. He's described the investigation as a witch hunt.
The trial over the Kobe Bryant crash photos has begun in LA. The basketballing great's widow Vanessa is taking on Los Angeles County. Pictures of the wreckage and the victims in the January 2020 crash were allegedly shared by first responders. The trial is expected to run for 10 days. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
10-year warranty and 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you for that, Mel. It's selection night for the Crows and Port Adelaide ahead of their round 22 matches this weekend. The Crows will be forced to make at least one change, with Will Hamill placed into the league's concussion protocols after the weekend's match against West Coast. The Roos will welcome back Ben Cunnington after he has overcome testicular cancer. And the Power will name a squad for their match against Essendon, which is being played on Sunday. Meantime, Carlton is set to roll the dice at the AFL Appeals Board tonight, hoping to overturn a 2-match suspension he received for engaging in rough conduct against Brisbane. Well, it's been a good day for the Aussie men at the Canadian Open in Montreal, with both Nick Kyrgios and Alex de Minaur scoring upsets over seeds. Kyrgios just happened to oust the world number one. Craig Gabriel reports.
Kyrgios has extended his head-to-head advantage over Medvedev to 3-1 as he upset the world number one 6-7, 6-4, 6-2 to reach the third round. It's the second time Nick has upset a current world number one, and he has a 5-3 win-loss record over top 10 players this year. de Minaur has upset 15th seed Grigor Dimitrov 7-6, 7-5, and now the two Aussies will come face-to-face for the first time in the next round. The tournament also lost second seed Carlos Alcaraz.
World number 3, Rory McIlroy, is welcoming a legal decision to stop players who've joined the Rebel Live Golf Tour from competing in the FedEx Cup playoffs. Meantime, Live Golf officials are reportedly set to tour Australian golf courses in the coming days, scoping out a venue for a potential Live Golf Tour event here. And Australian women's cricket captain Meg Lanning is taking a break from the game for personal reasons, with no timeline for a return. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Parafield Gardens, there's a smash on the Salisbury Highway near Shepparton Road. At Collinswood, urgent sewer works there, North East Road near Galway Avenue. At Findon, bitumen works on Crittenden Road near Broadford Court, affecting both directions. And we're busy right now at South Road at Mile End. Cameras, Days Road, Ferreton Park and Kester's Road at Para Hills. Enjoy exceptional savings for a limited time on the Mercedes-Benz C-Class Edition C. It's in a C-Class of its own. Shop in-store or online today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
3 out of 4 people never hear back from interviews. Shouldn't people matter more than that? Zoom Recruitment.
Showers increasing for your Thursday and 16, showers tomorrow 15, and the weekend more showers 15 Saturday, 16 Sunday. Right now it's 10 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
First day of my new business, insured by QBE. Cue the lights. Cue the first customers.
Hello.
Cue the morning rush. Cue the unavoidable. Cue the call to QBE.
Hi, sorry.
Cue the quick response.
We'll get that sorted for you.
QBE Insurance on queue for thousands of small businesses before and after. Search QBE SME or talk to your broker today.
See qbe.com/au for eligibility, the PDS and the TMD to decide if this product is right for you. The product issuer is QBE Insurance Australia Limited.
Are you ready to turn your dreams into a reality? Well, the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery is back and there are more big prizes than ever.
What a dream scenario this is. You could be living mortgage-free, who wouldn't love that right now, Imagine sinking your feet into the sand at Somerton Park, just metres away from your $3 million, fully furnished Scott Salisbury home right next to the beach, plus you receive $250,000 cash.
Beautiful part of Adelaide. And the earlier you get in, the more draws you're in too. That's an important piece of information. Early ticket holders could win a share of $1 million in payday prizes and $1 million in early bird prizes.
And look, it's not just your life that could change. You're also helping South Australia's healthcare heroes to provide the best care for you and your loved ones when you need it most.
Tickets are on sale now, so grab yours today at homelottery.com.au.
Now at Harvey Norman, buy a selected Samsung TV and get up to a bonus $2,000 gift card. Get a bonus $250 gift card with the Samsung 75-inch QLED Smart TV, now $2,495. Or bonus $500 gift card with the Samsung Neo 75-inch QLED, $4,495. Plus, purchase with a selected Samsung soundbar and get up to $2,000 cash back as well. Hurry! Ends Sunday at Harvey Norman.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Credit Union SA Bonus Savings Account. Open your account and you could be rewarded with bonus monthly interest. Consider the T's and C's.
8:09, breaking at 8 in just a moment. Behind closed doors after 8:30. The Dude, very, very shortly. And an uplifting chat with Mark Green. We hope that they're trending towards permanent residency here in Australia. And here in South Australia, we spoke earlier to a number of listeners who endorsed wholeheartedly the move to get the Greens to stay in South Australia permanently.
Not one against it.
Not one person raised a concern with it.
Yeah,
which is significant. Now let's
break some out.
Before we break some out, I'm just trying to stall while you get your little Smeg appliance plugged in.
Hang on.
Doesn't look like it's going particularly well over there at the moment.
It's not Smeg's fault. It's my fault. I'm just trying to get the beaters in.
All right, you try and get the beaters in.
Thanks to Smeg, it's time for the dish that defines your suburb.
Semaphore is the suburb in question this morning. If you want to win a Smeg beater, and you can watch Sam and David trying to assemble it on the Credit Union SA Facebook and YouTube live stream.
Look a bit like the chimps in the Stanley Kubrick film.
There you go. Now, give us a bit of a whiz. Yeah. In what it says in the advertising is it's whisper quiet.
It's whisper quiet.
It's whisper quiet. You won't even notice that it's on. Anyway,
they're like an intelligence test, and I've clearly failed it. But just look at it, though.
You don't even need to use it. Wouldn't matter if it doesn't switch on.
Just listen to it. Listen to that. You can't
You wouldn't know that's egg beating at the moment.
Quiet.
Yeah, it is. What remarkable.
It's a thing of beauty.
It's a beautiful piece of technology. The hand beater. Now, if you want to win it, you just need to tell us the dish that defines Semaphore. 8223 0000. Get calling now, or you can text us on the Automasters text line, but you'll be less likely to win. 8223 0000. I'm just going to be honest with people. 8223 0000. The dish that defines Semaphore. What did you say?
Potato fritter.
Potato fritter. All right, let's go breaking out.
Can you call a potato fritter a dish? Is it a dish in its own right? I think it is.
Oh, well, if you have enough of them.
Yeah, it's minimalist.
What's the collective noun for a bunch of potato fritters?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Hey,
a cholesterol.
This is a bit of an extension of the story about the attacks, the suspicious attacks last Friday at the Master Builders Association headquarters. We haven't heard from police about what they've uncovered because our understanding is that they have been called in about it. We should stress that the CFMEU vehemently denies responsibility for any of this. Albeit odd that the least troubling part of the incident was that one of their stickers was adhered to an MBA vehicle. But it's our understanding that aside from the fact that Will Frogley had the windscreen wipers snapped off his car, there's also another car at the MBA that sustained some pretty serious damage, and having just gone through this myself and being lumbered with a bill for $4,400, I know how much it can cost, but there was a car that was also keyed the full length of one side of a Master Builders Association car, deep scratched all the way along with a key. So that is forming part of the investigation as well. And as I said, can't stress enough, CFMEU, the outgoing State Secretary Andy Sutherland has put out a fiery statement emphatically denying that this had anything to do with the union.
Keying, it's sort of the most base level protest,
it's so
isn't it?
annoying. It takes forever to do it.
What's
It's happened to me 4 months ago. I'm booked in with a bloke in Edwardstown because it's on insurance. He can't do it until late October. I was at the drive-through buying some wine a few nights ago, and the bloke in the bottle shop, he goes, "Mate, what happened to your car?" Like, it stands out so much, and I just rolled my eyes. But the thing is, so it's on insurance. Well, that's an $800 excess payment, and your premiums go up.
Yes.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Absolutely
You
ridiculous.
just throttle them if you get your hands on them.
Scott in Glenunga has the dish that defines semaphore. Morning to you, Scott.
Morning, guys. Growing up in like Taparoo and Largs Bay area, I have to agree with David with the potato cake, but also served with battered fish and chips in newspaper. That's kind of what I remember as a kid.
Yeah, that's the whole. That's the whole dish right there.
Absolutely,
that's an excellent entry, Scott.
Absolutely.
Thank you. 8223 the dish that defines semaphore this morning, and you can win a Whisper Quiet hand beater.
That's right. Anne's texted in as well saying that her semaphore go-to family meal is Soto's chips, butterfish, and chicken salt on the beachfront, made even more naughty with the addition of white buttered bread and BYO tomato sauce, Rosella, of course, and a pineapple fritter for each of the 5 kids. What about that?
That sounds like a fun afternoon.
All the 5 food groups right there.
Margaret's called in. Margaret, good morning to you.
Good morning. I just wanted to make a quick comment about that lovely family from Scotland who are allowed to stay an extra month. I saw a program, it might have been 60 Minutes, I'm not sure, just recently about them. You know, staying an extra month, they've gotten rid of all their furniture. They had to give up their beloved dog. They couldn't take their dog home with them. So they're really going to need help.
Yeah, good
they
job,
are.
Margaret.
They are.
I just wanted people to know that. They're really going to need help.
That's a great point. We'll speak to Mark. He's coming up in about 15 minutes' time. We'll speak to him about that.
Just got a text from him, actually. He's downstairs, so he's a bit early.
All right, let's give Margaret a 5AA breakfast mug as well for making that excellent observation. It's a good point to make that just the stay of an extra month, it's not exactly happy times from here on. They've had to make plans about permanently leaving the country. So life upended essentially twice, albeit this time in the right direction. Thank you for that, Margaret. Stay on the line. Barry, let's go to James in Gawler. Morning, James.
Good morning. How are we?
Good, thanks, James.
My semaphore experience would be a seafood basket with some nice crispy chips, followed by a triple banger from the ice cream shop.
Yes, thank you, James. Barry in Glenelg, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. I keep listening to these food bloody ballet dancers. You've got to understand that you've got to have soaked in vinegar with all these chips and potato fritters and everything. What is the matter with them?
Vinegar.
An impassioned plea for vinegar.
Vinegar enthusiast, Barry in Glenelg. Good on you, Barry. 8223 0000. We can take some more dishes that define semaphore. The Tom Duday's coming up in just a moment.
Everyone's going down the chips path.
Yeah,
there's plenty of other things. Yeah. Someone's texted in saying semaphore cheese and wine. Is that a place?
Is there a festival that goes on there? Is there?
Yeah, maybe. You could have a completely different restaurant. It could be a local Chinese or an Indian.
Could be. Well, it doesn't have to be a restaurant.
Well,
it's
no,
just a dish.
it could be something you make yourself for a picnic at the beach.
Yes, let's go. Andy in Henley Beach wants to talk about the Green family. Morning, Andy.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Good, thanks, Andy.
All right, firstly, that's a massive, massive mistake on behalf of the Immigration Department. 10 years this fella's been waiting for permanent residency.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, normal protocol is 2 years as a temporary visa, as a temporary resident. After 2 years, you wait another 2 years, you get your permanent residency, and you can send away for your passport and become an Aussie. Why has it taken 10 years?
I think because the employers that he was working for, a whole bunch of them went bust, but one of them had stuffed up the paperwork and then lied to him about it.
That's shocking. Absolutely shocking. This country's crying out for skilled labour and professionals of all fields, and they're trying to turn them away.
Yeah.
The other thing too, Andy, I think really important, because I know you've told your story about your love of Australia on our show before, mate, and we know you're a keen listener, is when you come here from a place that maybe it's the weather, maybe it's economic opportunities, maybe it's the town you lived in before wasn't really the type of place where you wanted to bring up kids. But I know, mate, from the conversation we had a few months back, like you spoke so much about how much you've loved Australia and you almost felt like you started your life again here.
Yeah, we came, never knew anybody, never been before, embraced it. In fact, we came with a view that after the 2 years we were moving to Perth because at least we knew somebody there. Within 2 weeks in Adelaide, this is a home for us. But it's a fabulous place, and I feel shocked for this family.
Yeah.
Not just because they're Scottish, but just because of the way they've been treated.
Yeah, we're with you, Andy. It's over our listeners. We can tell you that much. Lots of texts and calls to that effect. Great call. I appreciate you calling in this morning. 18 minutes after. We're going to check traffic. Then the dude is going to join us in just a moment to talk footy. Until your new BMW arrives, Adelaide BMW will help keep your current vehicle fueled. T's and C's apply.
Thanks, Will. At Collinswood, urgent sewer works this morning. Northeast Road near Galway Avenue causing delays for the drive-in. Parafield Gardens, residual delays from Nellia's smash. That's on the Salisbury Highway near Shepperton Road. At Findon, bitumen works today. Crittenden Road near Broadford Court affecting both directions. And starting to get busy South Road at Mile End. Also Brighton Road at Glenelg East. Cameras, Days Road, Regency Park and Hanson Road at Winkfield. It's finally Harris Scarf's 4-day sale time. Enjoy great deals on homewares, Manchester, electrical, clothing and more. That's great brands at great prices. Sale ends Sunday at Harris Scarf. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Tim Ginniver now joins Stephen Rowe every afternoon for the New Look 5AA Sports Show.
The great Brodie Smith joins us each and every week. Thanks very much for coming in, mate.
If you go to 8 wins, and Port will lose to Western, Tim, you must admit.
Don't be silly.
Q in rank. You'll both be on 8 wins, showdown 52 the following Saturday.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Boy, wow,
Rowie and Timmy G.
To finish on a showdown, both teams can't make finals. It almost makes it a granny, doesn't it?
4 p.m. weekdays on 5AA.
An average of 83 people die on Australian rail lines every year. Ask yourself, do I pay attention when I cross rail lines? The answer might surprise you. Stand back, look up, stay rail safe. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Escape winter with a Holiday Wonders day tour. Enjoy Showtime Wednesdays. Take a cosy coach ride through the hills to Mount Barker, see a classic movie and dine at Auchendoric House. If shopping is more your thing, head to Harbour Town and enjoy a buffet lunch at the Watermark. The Holiday Wonders escorted day tour to Monado Safari Park is a great day out. Or why not take their Adelaide Surrounds Mystery Tour? Call Holiday Wonders Mitcham today. holidaywonders.com.au.
Now, over at the other hardware store, Will, they do things a little differently.
Yes, that's right. At your local Mitre 10, they're giving you the chance to win a Weber for your father on this Father's Day.
How good are Webers? Take advantage of this Mighty Rewards member exclusive. Just spend $60 in store and go in the draw to win a Weber for Dad.
Yep, you'll get one entry for every $60 you spend, which means it's the perfect day and time to get Dad's Father's Day gift sorted.
Now, if you're not a Mighty Rewards member, mad if you're not, I'm a member. We remember, don't worry, it's free to join and you'll get a range of benefits just like this one.
Competition closes Sunday, 21st of August, so what do you got, about 10 more days? So for great prices on the right products, especially for Father's Day, along with helpful advice, choose the other hardware store. Mighty helpful, Mitre 10.
Life-changing moments can happen in many ways. Purchase a ticket in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery and you could be our next winner. The $3 million grand prize in Somerton Park comes fully furnished and is just one of thousands of prizes to be won. Every ticket sold creates a better future for all South Australians by supporting our healthcare heroes. Join the fight and get yours at homelottery.com.au. Licence M14227.
The Isuzu MU-X is born to tow. You can go. With 3.5-tonne towing capacity, trailer sway control and a reversing camera as standard across the range. Now's the time to gear up the boat, caravan or trailer and let the adventures begin in the exquisite 7-seat Isuzu MU-X. Hurry to your local Isuzu Ute dealer today.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Whatever you're saving for, get there quicker with a Credit Union SA bonus savings account. Please consider the T's and C's.
22 minutes after 8.
I'm the dude.
So that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or Duder or, you know, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load.
Thanks to Leader Computers, Australia's largest Australian-owned PC manufacturer. They're based right here in Adelaide, like Tom Duday is. Dude, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning.
You got a spring in your step this morning.
No reason.
No reason? He's back.
I put my hand
back.
up. Put my hand up for selection this week. Got through training and got cleared by the docs. So hopefully it goes well. But it is good to know that I will hopefully be playing a game of footy this week and not sitting on the couch watching.
Do you feel refreshed? Do you feel physically better for
vibrant.
2 weeks?
Yeah, ready to go.
I mean, you look it.
I mean, I might start doing this every maybe 3 or 4 weeks next year. Just take 2 weeks off.
Load management.
Yeah, load management. I'll be like Kawhi Leonard or LeBron and just.
I think you can say that.
Yeah,
Pat LeBron and I, we're kind of
basically the same player in all aspects of both sports.
Just get yourself right for the finals. Don't worry about the regular season.
Yeah. So, but no, body feels good.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of
which is
workplaces that are still like that because of COVID. So, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for AFL elite athletes.
100%.
Like you, Tom.
We're not any different to anyone else. Exactly. Equal society sort of set up, Pembo.
Absolutely.
Can be part of the winning streak can continue. It must be nice to come back at a time when you got, 1-2 on the trot and you got a very winnable game this weekend.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I don't want to break the winning streak though. If I do come in, I don't want to be the one that if we lose on the weekend, it's pretty much all on me, isn't it? Even if I play a ripper and we lose,
to nothing.
Yeah. So if I do come back in and we don't get the chockies, I might just have to put my hand up and say it's my fault, boys. I'll go out for the showdown. But Sanford boys are doing well. Crows boys are doing well. So we're flying at the moment.
Did you think you might have ended up going into the snaffle? They might have slotted you in there for a week.
Just to deviate for a sec, do you call it the snaffle just because it's funny? Because I call it the snaffle as well. But is there any
quite a few AFL fans call it the snaffle?
Yeah, but there's no historical thing.
No,
it's just
it's
fun to say.
Yeah.
Well, there's potential. I don't know. I was potentially, if I go through the sample, or the snaffle, I'll be play that game and then get through the showdown. But ideally, I'll just go straight back in.
So we're getting towards the silly season of AFL. I want to know what the etiquette is for playing football in footsies. Like you're liking any of Isaac Rankin's posts on Instagram? Do you slide into the DMs?
That's a very American thing, isn't it? Or like all his posts.
I know. I love that I can ask these things.
He unfollows the Gold Coast Suns and stuff like that. Yeah,
you know exactly what I'm talking about. Any rules? Anything you can do? Any little cheeky Brendan Cox like his photo?
No, I don't want
looking good, mate.
I don't want tampering charges against me. So I'm just gonna give you the diplomatic response here and say
it's a different world, though. You guys all can do social media.
Yeah, well, no, and to be fair, Isaac, when he was training with us at the academy, I took him into the club because he used to live near me, and so it wouldn't be anything like that. But I'm sure the AFL media would find a way to read into it if I did comment on his posts like, "Bro, you're looking fire today, bloody, you'd look better in Adelaide," or something. Like they'd probably be a bit there, but at the moment, that's leave that for the blokes upstairs. And
do you think, or do you see any evidence that we are heading down the American path where people will openly be saying, "Hey, dude, come here, come play with me, come play with a dude," that kind of stuff?
Shit, I hope not. God, I hope I never have those words come out of my mouth. Come play with the dude. We definitely are. There's definitely the way that the American sports are. I don't think the ego side of it's very Australian. I don't think that'll come around for a while just because our national culture is not that way. But the side of it that's more of a business and that players change teams more regularly, play with mates, or to chase money, chase rings, premierships, all that sort of stuff, I do believe could become a part of it. But the social media and the ego side of it, not as much. And hopefully no one ever mentions the words, come play with the dude.
Come play with the, I'm going to start the hashtag, come play with the dude.
Please don't.
That reminds me, was it someone said, one thing you'll never catch is Shane Warne talking about himself in the third person. But you're right about the culture, the sort of Australian character. Like, the Yanks love a showman, don't they? They love someone who's brash and loud and almost, being massively up yourself is sort of seen as a feather in your cap over there. But here, like, when players do like the Richmond guy did the sort of come and get me before he kicked that goal, and Ginnivan and Collingwood,
it was, yeah.
Like, anything flashy in Australia becomes a negative talking point, doesn't it?
Yeah, the tall poppy syndrome stuff, and it's part of our, like, a lot of male culture is that, like, just take the mickey out of someone and bring him back down to earth, and they don't get too big a head and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, they've just got over there. It's it's almost a thing predicated on look after me, and if I can pump myself up to get more money or pump myself up to get another team to like me or more followers and stuff, it's look after my backyard and still be a part of the team, but whereas we're probably more team and goal oriented rather than just, I'm the best, pay me money.
Now, be honest, has it come up within the club during the week? There is the very real possibility that Adelaide could finish ahead of Port on the ladder.
No. Definitely not. No, it hasn't come up at the club, but literally every single person that I've run into that has either recognised me or knows me well and knows that I play for the Adelaide Crows has brought it up quite clearly straight away. It's not even a case of it's not even are you back this week? It's did you know? And I'm like, yes, I know it's a while. We're 2 weeks away. Take it 1 week at a time. All that crap, but
What do you make of the rivalry? Like, as someone who didn't grow up here in South Australia,
nothing there. No, it's all for show. We're just talking about show and business in America. It's all for show.
Do you find it weird though how demented South Australians are when it comes to Port v
I wouldn't
Adelaide?
use that word, especially when I'm trying to endear myself to a state. But no, I did. Being a Victorian, it's something that the showdown. They're passionate. They love it over there, and then you get over here, and it's like the craziest thing ever. And you're just like, wow, there's actually genuine hatred between the two fan bases. I don't think we have the same sort of effect with our North Melbourne rivalry. Usually the battle for wooden spoon the last 3 years, but we're already talking about a week ahead. That shows you where we're at with North Melbourne, doesn't it? That's you. You're doing that. I'm not doing that. That's your fault, Pembo.
Exactly. 1 week at a time, Tom.
Yeah, exactly.
We always say that here.
Yeah, and that's Double A's mantra. That's my mantra. That's the Crows' mantra.
3 in a row. # come play with the dude.
Give me something else to finish on, please. Any movies this week? What have I watched?
About
to finish The Sopranos. Yeah, about to finish The Sopranos. Bullet Train's good.
Bullet Train's good.
Yep. What else is there?
Have you seen the documentary about the Thai cave rescue? Will was talking about that this
The
morning.
doco or the
doco?
The remake. There's a doco on Disney Plus, and then there's the Prime, which is
that hasn't come out
Ron
yet,
Howard.
has it?
Ron Howard made that with Colin Farrell on that.
I didn't realise it was out.
Yep.
I only watched the doco. That's probably a good order to do it in last night.
Yeah,
awesome.
probably one that's actually real, and then something that's a dramatic reenactment.
Have you watched the dramatic reenactment?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
Nah. I think I've got to set myself for it. It might be a bit of an emotional one,
Yeah,
I know, but like uplifting. Obviously, we know the story. But
do you cry? Do you ever cry, Tom?
Unless they just change the story in one of the kids.
Do you cry in movies?
Nah, never have.
Really?
Never have. Yeah, I consider myself emotionally detached as a human. Pembo, quite a nihilist in that regard.
I lose at the drop of a hat.
Nah, never.
Gallipoli,
never.
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? There's any number of movies that get
no,
me going.
I think I just watch it as a movie, and I know it's a movie, so it just doesn't like it. I feel things, but I never get to that point.
You're assessing the cinematography more so than worrying about what the emotions are.
All that crap.
What about? Have you seen Life Is Beautiful? How do you not cry in that film? That's pretty hard.
No, that is pretty tough. Yeah.
Good on you, dude. David's going to start. If we keep talking about this, David's going to start crying. The man cries at the drop of a hat. Good on you, dude.
Appreciate it.
Thanks to Leader Computers Australia. Largest Australia, it's true. Australian PC manufacturer based right here in Adelaide.
So, why go with NRG Solar?
My first contact with NRG Solar was through Michael. He had a look around the house, around the roof. We have particular problems with trees, so he assessed the situation, made some calculations, discussed the options with me. What I liked most about the visit was that Michael was prepared to explain things in simple language to us and look at the options and just basically being professional.
Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Showers increasing in 16 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Turn your dreams into reality with the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. There's more big winners than ever before.
3 teenagers have been arrested and a 4th remains on the run after a break-in at Craigmore. Around 1 this morning, a man arrived at his Phillip Avenue home and noticed strangers inside. He then saw people running from the property and noticed 2 cars had been stolen from his driveway. One of the vehicles was found abandoned at Blakeview before road spikes were successfully used to stop the other a short time later. Senior Constable Matt Brown has told David and Will 2 15-year-olds and a 14-year-old will face the youth court today.
The 4th offender is still outstanding. However, police are following positive lines of inquiry. Both cars were seized and will be forensically examined later today. So some good work by patrols there.
Parents at a local primary school are concerned about an attempted abduction. The hunt is continuing for a man after the incident at Glenelg on Tuesday morning. He allegedly grabbed a young girl on the arm around 10 a.m. There are reports the girl was also filmed. The hunt is on for a stolen ute. Police were called to a caravan park in Hackney just before 2 this morning after a man's cabin had been broken into and the keys to a grey Nissan Navara taken. The victim tried to grab the suspect, but he ran away, got into the victim's car and drove through the boom gates. Police say the suspect was wearing a hooded jumper, face mask and gloves. The car's registration is XOJ005. Opposition leader Peter Dutton says he won't shy away from calling out China's poor behaviour. Beijing has pledged to take control of Taiwan, which broke away from China more than 70 years ago. Tensions have heightened since US Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited the island state last week. Mr Dutton has told the ABC China's actions must not be tolerated.
Chinese Communist Party has been very clear about their intent in relation to Taiwan, and there were plenty within Europe that didn't believe that President Putin was going to go into the Ukraine. And what I don't want to see, instability in our region and a situation unfold in Taiwan where innocent women and children are the main victims.
More than $4 million will be spent establishing a tourist visitor centre in the State Library on North Terrace. It will feature displays and information about the city on the ground floor of the library. Well, the tributes keep coming for Olivia Newton-John after she lost her battle with breast cancer. Singer Michael Bublé has told Today she didn't let her struggles define her.
That woman understood in a very deep way that it isn't pain, it isn't suffering that makes people, it's love that makes people. I don't think she was going to go down like that. No matter what she felt her journey was going to be, I think she was going to go down living that. And what a beautiful, beautiful existence, what a beautiful legacy.
A salt substitute in our diets could help lower the risk of heart attack, stroke and death. Researchers have looked at the results of 21 clinical trials. They found replacing salt with substitutes lowers blood pressure and the risk of death from any cause by 11%. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
New Mitsubishi Triton with 10-year warranty, 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
And it's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Adelaide defender Tom Doedee is set to return to the side for this Saturday's clash against North Melbourne. Doedee has missed the past 2 weeks with some niggling issues, but he's told David and Will he's ready to come back.
Got through training and got cleared by the docs, so hopefully it goes well, but it is good to know that I will hopefully be playing a game of footy this week and not sitting on the couch watching.
Yeah, great news there. The Crows will announce their squad tonight, or their side rather, while the Power will only name a squad of 26, their match not being played until Sunday against Essendon. Well, 3 players that have joined the LIV Golf Tour, including Australian Matt Jones, have failed in their legal challenge to get into the FedEx Cup playoffs. Cam Smith and Mark Leishman are reportedly on the verge of joining Jones by jumping ship to the Breakaway League. Former pro Mark Allen says it's their ticket to an early retirement.
Here's one thing that I reckon not many people really understand about golfers. They don't want to play until they're 60 years old, these blokes. They want an out clause. And for many of them, the LIV Golf Tour is their out.
And in some tennis, Nick Kyrgios and Alex de Minaur will meet in an all-Aussie affair in the third round at the Canadian Open after both recorded impressive wins. Kyrgios upset world number 1 and defending champion Daniil Medvedev, while de Minaur took care of 15th seed Grigor Dimitrov in straight sets. But the news wasn't so good on the women's side, with Ayla Tomljanovic going down to world number 1 Iga Swiatek. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Collinswood, look out for urgent sewer works North East Road near Galway Avenue. At Kensington Gardens, more urgent sewer works there. Glenburn Road near Park Road. Febberton, you'll find a smash on Port Road near Phillips Street, which is slowing up the drive in this morning. And we're starting to get busy Cross Road at Myrtle Bank, also South Road at Mile End. Cameras, Addison Road, Pennington, and Cavan Road at Dry Creek. Don't miss the Drummer Golf half-price store-wide clothing clearance. On now, no exceptions. Shop in-store or online at drummondgolf.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
3 out of 4 people never hear back from interviews. Shouldn't people matter more than that? Zoom Recruitment.
16 today and showers increasing. Showers tomorrow 15, Saturday more showers 15. Right now it's 11 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Look, we get it. Nobody likes to wait, especially for a new car. That's why Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi would like to give you something cool to do in the meantime, like giving you a $50 gift voucher. Spend it any way you like while waiting for your new car to arrive. Take a test drive today for your $50 gift voucher. T's and C's apply. Only at Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi. Driven by Australian Motors.
If you want to build a new home, something that reflects you and your lifestyle, then you really need to speak with Beechwood Homes. And just so you know, they won't try and sell you a house plan. In fact, there's no house plans until you tell them what you want. So go for it. Start thinking of all the possibilities or get in touch with Beechwood Homes for a few thought starters. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide.
Specsavers is the name you trust for experienced eye care. But did you know that we can also care for your hearing? Hi, I'm Tom, a dedicated audiology professional from Specsavers, and we're here to provide high-quality hearing care at a price you can afford. We take the time to understand your needs and help you choose from a range of latest technology hearing aids that fit your lifestyle and budget. So to see and hear should have gone to Specsavers. Visit specsavers.com.au/hearing.
Hi, I'm Victoria from The Family Cook. I'm passionate about cooking wholesome, fresh and delicious meals. We're the only meal delivery service based in South Australia using hand-selected premium ingredients such as free-range chicken, grass-fed beef, Australian fish and locally sourced vegetables and herbs. Our customers love it and I can guarantee you'll love it too. And we're proudly an NDIS provider. Jump on board thefamilycook.com.au.
Life is a journey, and the path you choose is yours alone. Choose vitality and go with your local Go Vita. Go Vita health food shops are proud of their 30 years worth of health and wellness experience. It's what helps their natural health practitioners specialise in you. Go Vita is your destination for trustworthy, professional and personalised health and wellness advice and an extensive range of products and services. Go Vita, Colonnades, Fairview Green, Marion, Mount Barker, Monopara, Semaphore and Tanunda.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Whatever you're saving for, get there quicker with a Credit Union SA bonus savings account. Please consider the T's and C's.
21 minutes to 9, behind closed doors coming up in just a moment. We're going to award a winner of the magnificent Smeg blender that we actually got working over the course of the news break, which is an exciting development.
Nothing wrong with a blender.
No,
it was all on me.
It was operator error.
I hadn't pressed the button properly, but no, it works like a treat. There it is.
Oh, there you go. Listen to that. That's sweet blending goodness.
You could have a pavlova by 10 o'clock, Will, if I only had some egg whites in here.
If you're building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Debney Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg. And if you're watching along on the 5AA Facebook or YouTube live stream, you'll note we've been joined in the studio by the very happy, if not very exhausted, Green family, who received some terrific news, in part yesterday when the Premier of South Australia called up his federal counterpart and managed to secure a stay of 1 month for the Greens to await on the discretion of the Federal Immigration Minister to make a determination about their case to stay. And I've got to say to you all, and good morning to you and welcome to the 5AA Breakfast Studio, our listeners were unequivocal in their support for you guys. And I know, Mark, we've spoken to you before, but Rebecca Kelly, we haven't had you guys in, so thanks for coming in for the first time. People want you guys to stay. How close are you now with this extra month? How close are you to being a permanent resident here?
Well, we have got 1 more month. The Minister gave us 1 more month just so he can make a decision on this situation that we're in. And hopefully we're pleading with him to make the right decision. It's been so stressful for us. We can't thank the public, Steve Georgianis, the Minister, the Premier, you know, they've just stepped all into us and they've helped us so much, you know, and we can't thank everybody enough. It's been fantastic. It's a small step. We're not there yet, but it's a small step and it's good.
I think the thing that makes people so passionate in supporting you guys, Mark, is the 10 years you've been here, you haven't taken a single cent from the Australian taxpayer. You know, you're the living embodiment of a self-starter. You even, with your daughter Rebecca, who's here in the studio too, you had to pay full-toed odds to send her to the local public school, Seaview High, $8,000 a year. Like, it's just been all about working hard, and in an industry where you were brought to Australia because they couldn't find enough Sparkies in the first place.
Yeah, we actually got asked to come here. And we made the decision to come here. We sold our property and we moved over here with nothing. You know what I mean? And we started again from scratch and we've built ourselves up. We're trying trying to get a mortgage, you know, trying to start life again. But all these problems that we've been having with employers and visas, and it's just stopped us. It's like we're getting nowhere, you know. And we just want to start life. That's all we want to do, you know. I want to have something that my daughter can rely on in life, you know. It's it's dumbfounded me.
I remember, Rebecca, you've got an interest in, is it nursing? Is that what you wanted to study at uni?
Yeah, aged care.
Aged care, that's right. Yeah, and as it stands, because you're not citizens, can you go to uni, or how does it sort of affect you?
I can't go to uni, so I couldn't when I finished high school either. So I just have to wait until we get permanent residence.
Yeah, the bridging visa that we're on stops Rebecca from studying. They don't want her to start a study course and then us maybe leaving the country, you know.
It's just a crazy system. Like you're out there putting in solar panels. You want to work in aged care to help old people here in South Australia, and you, Kelly, as the mum, how's the whole process been for you?
Oh, very stressful. I actually had a leaving at my work the other day on Friday saying goodbye, and it was absolutely horrible. I've been there for nearly 10 years.
Yeah. Where have you been working?
Villies.
Yeah, of course.
Fantastic.
Because Villies have been big supporters of you as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
They have.
Do you know Sam in the
Yes,
in the ovens?
Yes.
He's a lovely bloke.
He's brilliant. Yeah.
Our sons go to the same school. He's a lovely guy.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Oh, he's been great. So he has.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. You insight you provide that you've had to say goodbye to the people you work with. We had a call from Margaret a little bit earlier who wanted to make the observation that you guys have probably already had to give up a lot of stuff. Yeah. You know, pets. Home, like you were ready to go home as of what, yesterday?
Yeah, 10:40 tonight, or 10:40 last night was our flight, and it wasn't till the very last minute that we got a little bit of good news, you know, and we were overwhelmed, absolutely overwhelmed.
So what have you got now? Where do you live? What do you do with all your stuff?
So we have got essentials. We obviously kept the essentials so we could sleep and, you know, stuff like that, but we're going to wait until the very end just to make sure, because at the end of the day we don't want to have to sell everything again.
Yep.
You know, and hopefully the minister will make a good decision on this, and we can move forward from here. Really
struggle to see what the downside is with
there
any of it. No, I mean, look, latest text, Ian, Morphett Vale, Dave and Will, read the Greens, give this man and his family permanent residency. He's proven his worth and good character, and besides, he's a Scot, and they're good people. So there you go.
There's a lot of good people out there as well, you know. And as I said, the support that we've had has been just overwhelming. It's been tremendous, you know, from MPs, from public, from all over the world, you know. And as I say, you know, the support, we still need the support. It's only been a stepping stone, you know, and hopefully this can get sorted out within this month.
We've got Frank Pangello on the line because Frank's done a lot of work with the Green family, wrote to the federal minister. And just quickly, Frank, how do you see the politics of it all playing out from here? Is this as simple as a stroke of a pen for Andrew Giles, the minister?
Look, it may not be, but I know that the matter is now right in front of him. It's taken a while to get there, but the Greens, all they've ever asked for, this is the land of a fair go, Pembo, and all they've asked for is a fair go, and they didn't get that fair go. But what this has actually highlighted, it's not just the case of, you know, the Greens, you know, trying to stay here despite all the problems. It's actually highlighted the complexity of our visa system and how difficult it is for people to be able to get here, particularly in a crisis time when we need skilled workers like Mark and Kelly and, of course, Rebecca to work in aged care. You know, the federal government next month are having a summit on how to tackle this crisis in our workforce. And here we are booting skilled people out, asking them to start the process all over again. It's crazy. And I think the Green case highlights our visa system needs an overhaul, Pembo.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well said, Frank. Good on you, mate. We'll look to you, Mark, and Kelly and Rebecca. All the very best of luck. I feel like the whole country's cheering you on.
Yeah, just to that end, the texts that are coming through at the moment, Mr. Clayton says the minister should be putting them up at his house for the month. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, a small gesture on behalf of the federal government for all the mischief they've caused you. Brian says, can't believe we've asked them to come here. Now we're kicking them out. What's wrong with these politicians? Beautifully said, Brian, and you'll be happy to hear this. Kelly, Jared says they can stay as long as they're Celtic supporters. Yeah. So that's good news.
That's fantastic.
Well, look, it's lovely to meet you face to face, Mark. It's been great chatting to you on the phone to do all the stories for the paper, and when we had you on the radio the other week as well. And hopefully sanity prevails, and you'll be Dinky Die South Aussie from here on in. Good on you guys. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for all the support, guys. It's been brilliant.
Not at all.
Appreciate you coming in. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll check traffic, and on the other side of it, we're going to play FIVEAA's Food, Fuel or the Footy. You can choose one of either three prizes, $200 worth of food, $200 worth of fuel, or a big night out at Showdown 52 with a $100 dinner voucher. With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies. We'll check traffic until your new BMW arrives. Adelaide BMW will help keep your current vehicle fueled. T's and C's apply.
At Happy Valley, urgent sewer works on Chandlers Hill Road near Happy Valley Drive. At Bedford Park, works for a water main leak on Shepherd's Hill Road near Sturt Road. Collinswood, you'll find urgent sewer works North East Road near Galway Avenue, and Kensington Gardens more sewer works, this time on Glenburn Road near Park Road. Busy Toothy Street, Malvern, with a camera Addison Road at Pennington. Want a delicious meal or snack? Head to Guzmani Gomez for their nacho fries, just $9.90. Yes, nacho fries, just $9.90 at GYG for a limited time only. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
3 words your friends and family never like hearing.
We're moving house.
Well, you can always rely on budget truck and car rentals to help out. From 3-ton moving trucks you can drive on a car licence to vans and moving trailers. Budget car and truck rentals make it easy as to move house. Do it right in half the time and save money with budget car and truck rentals. Call 13 27 27.
How do you know if the milk you're buying is local? Easy. Just look for 3 words. FIVEAA Milk Company. If the bottle you pick up has those 3 words on it, FIVEAA Milk Company, it's guaranteed to be local. It's guaranteed to be fresh too. And the big plus, you're supporting SA dairy farmers, and for that, we're forever grateful. 3 words. FIVEAA Milk Company. South Australian and proud of it.
City Discount Tires. Get saving this month at City Discount Tires. When you buy 3 Wild Peak AT3W all-terrain tires, you'll get the 4th tyre free. The perfect tyre for your next adventure. City Discount Tires are a proud multi-tyre and wheel brand retailer offering great service at great prices. Visit citydiscounttires.com.au to find your nearest store. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
Saving for one of these? Maybe this. Then you're going to need one of these. Sorry, we didn't have a sound effect for a Credit Union SA bonus savings account. But we can give you up to 2.5% per annum interest each month you make a deposit of any amount with no withdrawals. 2.5%. What a bonus. Save your way with a Credit Union SA bonus savings account. Consider the terms and conditions before applying. Interest rates are subject to change.
Patience pays off, especially if you've been holding out for a great deal on a new Volkswagen. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen is now receiving truckloads of new Volkswagens. Yes, they're coming. And they're available at amazing prices. Remember Mawson Lakes Volkswagen for servicing too, with next day servicing and free loan cars. Get a great deal on Volkswagen now. Don't dilly-dally, dawdle or delay. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Credit Union SA bonus savings account. Open your account and you could be rewarded with bonus monthly interest. Consider the T's and C's.
All right, the time has arrived to play 5AA's Food, Fuel or the Footy. Your chance to win one of 3 prizes. Help get some cash back in your pocket. $200 worth of food, $200 worth of fuel, or a night out watching Port take on the Crows in Showdown 52 with a $100 dinner voucher. The choice is yours. Just be the first caller through right now on 8223 0055. Let's go behind closed doors thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, Interstate Freight Distribution. That's the sound of the hand mixer firing up in the background.
I guess you're wondering how many beaters I've got in this Mixmaster.
David.
In the excitement, I kind of lost track myself.
Your oral pun has interrupted Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, our great friends there.
Do it from the top.
I will. I'll do it with gusto. Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, Interstate Freight Distribution. We love them. Warehousing, local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast on 13 13 64.
And when we get behind closed
$13.95. Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
And welcome along to the program. Great to have you with us again. Bit of rain around, isn't there? Hope you're managing to stay dry. Today we'll be paying tribute to Olivia Newton-John, of course, that wonderful lady who gave us so much pleasure. And a fun fact about Physical, would you believe it was the biggest selling single of all time until Michael Jackson's Thriller came along? Would you believe that? I hope not, because it's not true. In fact, neither was Thriller, but saying Bing Crosby's White Christmas is still the best-selling single of all time doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? Anyway, coming up on the show, a bit later, we'll be talking about researchers and how sometimes they can get things so wrong it affects their future as researchers. We've also got a real treat for you today. The Psychic Expo is on in Adelaide, and we have in the studio Barry Davis, who's a medium, and he's prepared to take calls. If you have someone that you want to contact in the spirit world, you can do that. How are you, Barry?
I'm fine, thank you, Jade. Great to be here.
Now, you're going to take some calls and put people in contact with their loved ones who've passed on.
Yes, I'd be happy to.
So, if you've got someone who you'd like to contact, give us a call on 8223 0000. Jan has given us a call. Hello, Jan.
Oh, hello, Jade and Barry.
Hi, Jan.
Barry, is there anything you can tell me about my loved ones?
Well, Jan, I've got someone yelling at me at the moment saying, "Mother, mother," and she seems like a good person, a person who cared for her children and protected them very well and would do anything for them, the sort of person who knew what she wanted to do and went ahead and did it, and usually did it very well. Does that mean anything to you?
Oh, yes, it sounds like my mother.
Yes, she is saying that she is your mother.
Oh, wonderful.
It's an amazing power that you have, Barry, that lets you describe every mother that's ever lived.
Yes, Jade, for as long as I can remember, I've had this strange ability to be able to generalise and at the same time make it sound more involved than it really is.
So, do you know how she is and how she's getting along?
Jan, yes, she says she's having a terrible time and wishes she hadn't died.
Oh.
She says she's got people she can talk to, but they're all in a bad mood too because they didn't want to die either.
Oh, dear.
And thanks for your call, Jan.
Yeah, thanks, Jan. Sorry your mum's not in a good way, but there it is.
All right. Thanks to Foodland, we have food, fuel or the footy.
She asked, didn't she?
That's true.
Buyer beware.
Exactly right. Alan in Glenelg East is the first caller through. Alan, you choosing the food, the footy or the fuel?
Well, I'm going to choose the food, actually.
Good. I think first person that's taken the food.
Yeah.
What do you... Any special reason, Alan, or just the grocery bill starting to bite a bit?
Oh, well, I can't go to the footy that night, so...
Makes it easy.
Yeah. I'm a Foodland fan, so I'm happy to do that.
How about that, Alan?
So are we, mate.
We certainly are. With more
Love
stores
Foodland.
close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Yeah.
Speaking of food, we've been playing the dish that defines... I don't know, it's like sort of Bon Jovi was in the studio or something for a second there.
That's the jingle.
The mighty South Aussies, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
The mighty South Aussies,
It was
yeah.
just slightly detached and it just sounded like you were sort of just pumped up, which is
Oh, well,
delightful.
I was.
I know you are. If you're
Always.
building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Deputy Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg. Who wins the dish that defines semaphore?
Look, I like James from Gawler with his evocative description of the seafood basket, followed by a triple scoop of ice cream. Some lovely little ice cream shops there along Semaphore Road. Someone texted in saying they just like wandering along window shopping. It is one of the prettiest main streets in South Australia by a long way.
Yeah,
I reckon.
it's a lovely spot. Real distinct character. We've got a bit of fuel information to leave you with as well. See where the cheapest fuel is in an instant with the free My RA app. Download it today. Out north, the cheapest we've seen at $1.53.9, the BP Peachy Road, Davern Park. In the east, $1.52.9, Coles Express, OG Road, Clemzig. In the west, $1.56.9, Coles Express on Findon Road at Findon. And in the south, the OTRs at $1.53.9 at Park Avenue, Aberfoyle Park. The best diesel, $1.92.5, Henley Beach Road at Brooklyn Park.
Still high though, diesel, isn't it? It's crazy.
It is.
Unbelievable. We got Meat Tray Friday tomorrow, folks. Finish the week with a bang. Big thanks to our friends at Smeg. And I'll tell you what, if the Automasters text line was in charge of government policy, there's an idea. I think
I've heard worst ideas. The
Greens would be here for the remainder of their lives. We're still getting messages flowing in. I don't see what the sort of precedent-setting dangers of this are.
No, I can see what it is. There's a danger that really productive and good members of the community might think they can just move to Australia and fill jobs in areas where there are skill shortages.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has been made rightly of Mark's contribution. 10 years of hard work, never had a day off, never taken a cent from Centrelink. But what about his daughter Rebecca? She's 19.
Wants to work in the industry we need the most.
So she was 9 when she arrived. She spent more than half of her life in Australia. She's got her own circle of friends from Seaview High, where she studied. The parents had to pay, I think it was actually like 14 grand when you took in the school fees and all the learning material charges and everything else that they paid at full tote odds. She wants to work in aged care. That's another industry that's crying out for people, particularly in a state like ours that's got an above average aged population. Let them stay in.
Should be the easiest decision in the world.
Andrew Giles, we will make you a hero. Come on, 5AA.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get the best run ever.
Absolutely. Leon Byner's coming up next. Catch you tomorrow from 6.
Introducing the Kia Cars of the Year.